Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. Good to see you from all around the world. I am your host, Jim Masters. This is the entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we created many weeks ago here on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and also on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. And we say welcome to everybody who's watching, maybe for the very first time, or perhaps you're one of our lovities. Everybody that watches this show, including the guests that come on the show, become lovities. This show is really positive, it's inspirational, and we designed this as a television show, not a podcast or anything like that. It's really like a television show because I have worked in television and radio as a TV presenter, TV personality and host, radio host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist and narrator for a long time on television networks and radio stations, on public television in America, and so much more. I've hosted all kinds of different shows. And we created this fun show, which is on every single night live at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. If you're in Ireland, it's midnight. So we say welcome. If you're in the Netherlands, it's like 1 a.m. If you're in Australia, New Zealand, and we see folks from all around the world right now, it's morning. So we say good morning. Wherever you're watching live, or if you do watch this episode or any of the episodes of our series, the Jim Masters Show Live, you can see them all on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. And this episode will also be archived on YouTube at Jim Masters TV as well. How is everybody doing? I am your host. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's been a beautiful weekend here. We are in the United States. We are in the greater New York City area. I live along the beautiful coast between New York and Boston. So that's where this show originates from. And we're here again every single night live with amazing guests from, and a lot of them are my celebrity friends and colleagues from television and music and film, movies, health, wellness, science, food and culinary arts, sports, and so much more. We go on location. We do a whole host of feature segments. Again, it's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that I created using all of my background working in broadcasting and television and radio. So it's wonderful to have you here. And we welcome all of our lovities, our faithful fans. We have folks that watch this show from all around the world every single night, and they're very active with their comments. So we'll show some of the comments as well. This is a very viewer interactive show. So if you're watching on YouTube live right now or on Facebook, all at Jim Masters TV, feel free to comment, feel free to say hello, let us know where you're watching from, share this episode, tag your friends, feel free to do a big happy world. So let's support each other, right? And help each other spread the word. Here's what we do when we start our show. We always have a glass of something here, and we toast. So we toast you and you and you and you and you. And of course, since my very special guest is a longtime great friend, actually, Ryan. So his own solo career as well. We say thank you for joining us, everybody. And of course, we have to have something green in the glass since we're celebrating the Irish. I'm Irish on my father's mother's side, so we have lots of Irish in our blood. Very nice, very delicious. So we toast all of you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. It's great to have you with us. We have a cast of characters that we always welcome. We did a nostalgic week a couple of weeks ago here on the show. So we welcome some of the characters that everybody loves and they want me to keep on the show, like George Burns, the legendary TV host and comedian. George Burns is here with his cigar, and George Burns says hello to all of you, and he greets all of you as well. George is here. He's a happy part of our cast of characters. Everybody loves him. If I don't show these characters, our lovities, our fans, our viewers say, where are the characters? And I dream a genie. Genie is in the bottle, the official genie bottle. She's in there. See her? She's wiggling her eyes, blinking them, and she is greeting all of you as well in the official genie. Again, the show is all about light, levity, love, or as we call it, lovity. We've got another friend here who's joining us. When I was on a television shoot for a TV show, we were in Europe, Greece, Germany, Amsterdam, and then also Switzerland. We came home with Silver. Silver is this cool lab that we got. He's sort of our mascot. He keeps everything under control here at our home studio. So Silver greets all of you, our Silver lab, and he says hi to everybody as well. And we also have here one other. Well, actually, there's two more. There's Jimmy, and Jimmy says hello to you as well, and he's got his Irish green on. This was a childhood toy, and we brought him out a couple of weeks ago, actually several weeks ago, and everybody fell in love with him, and they're like, oh, we love him, we love him, we love him. So there you go. Jimmy is here, and Jimmy welcomes you as well. Great to have you here, and he says hello. And we have one more. Gilligan. Gilligan is here as well. Gilligan is here, and Gilligan says hello. And Gilligan we got from a wonderful person named Dreama Denver, who is the wife of Bob Denver. Bob Denver played Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. Yeah. So we welcome everybody. Good to have you with us here on the show. It's fantastic. And we have a wonderful guest that's joining us here. Of course, I'm sure you already know who I'm talking about, Ryan Kelly. Ryan, of course, as I mentioned, from Celtic Thunder and from so many other terrific things that he has done solo, Byrne and Kelly, and you just name it, he's done it. And we're so excited to have him here on the show. Looking for a great, of course, you guys know that picture, right? Take a look at that. That, of course, as we know, is Celtic Thunder. That might have been actually one of the first times that you discovered Ryan, perhaps, but he's done so much more. And again, that's the entire crew there. We're going to go through a lot of great pictures here together over the years. The gang, right, that many of you know and have loved for many, many years. Got a lot of cool pictures here that we have assembled, some from Ryan, some we have found as well. That's a great shot as well. We welcome everybody. We're going to go through all the comments as well. But first, let me tell you about Ryan, if there's just a little bit you didn't know, even though you followed him. He's really an amazing talent. We have known each other for many years, actually. Really ever since the creation of Celtic Thunder, because they came over from Ireland when Celtic Thunder was created, right around the time Celtic Woman was created as well. And I interviewed Ryan and all of the lads multiple times on American public television, in the studio live for various different specials that Celtic Thunder has done. So we've all stayed in touch, Ryan and I, Damien, all the rest of the gang over the years. So when I mentioned, to Ryan, love to have you come on the show, he said, absolutely. You just tell me when it is and where and how we do it. And he was gracious enough to hop on. But we've known each other for a long time, again, through public television, and then we've become friends, and everybody's always supporting each other's work, which I think is beautiful. Singer, songwriter, actor. Ryan Kelly, he grew up in a village called the Moy in the county of Tyrone in Northern Ireland. He still lives there today. That's right. And from his earliest days, he was inspired by music of all types, from traditional Irish songs to acoustic, rock, and show tunes. Harmony intrigued him before he even knew what it was. He was riding in the car one day at the age of 5 with his dad, Sean, and his aunt. Ryan noticed they were singing the same song, but in different ways. He asked his aunt about it, and she explained what harmony was. His first big break in music, he says, was when he sang the hymn, Here I Am, Lord, at his first Holy Communion at the local chapel in the Moy. His dad, a musician, accompanied him on the organ. Influenced by his dad and his love of music, Ryan, though trained as a professional accountant, performed whenever possible. He appeared twice as Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar and in Blood Brothers in the stage productions. 2007, he was chosen to be one of the original members of the all-male Irish singing group called Celtic Thunder, which is still very active, of course, and highly popular with fans all around the world. The group has appeared on PBS specials and has entertained for President Obama at the White House, in addition to winning numerous music awards and topping the Billboard World Music charts, which is fantastic. Ryan continues as a featured member, of course, of Celtic Thunder, but has also released 2 solo albums as well, In Time in 2010 and Life in 2013. He was nominated in 2012 and won in 2011 the Top Solo Performer in Concert Award from the Irish Music Association. A large part of his performing life, when not on tour with Celtic Thunder, centers around the partnership he formed with fellow Celtic Thunder singer and musician Neil Byrne. Together with musicians Nicole Hudson and Peter Sheridan, they perform as Byrne and Kelly. They began touring in the 2012 time period with that show as Acoustic by Candlelight, and now do yearly Byrne and Kelly tours around the world. Their vocal harmonies often compared to Simon and Garfunkel or the Everly Brothers, and their music features traditional Irish tunes and Americana folk songs, plus many songs they've written themselves. In 2013, they were awarded the Best Duo in a Concert, Pub, or Festival, and Best New Album for their album Acoustically Irish by the Irish Music Association. The album also reached #1 on the Billboard World Album chart and #1 on iTunes in the United States, Australia, and Canada. And their second album, Live in Australia, was recorded live in Sydney in 2014 and earned similar awards. Their follow-up album, Echoes, featured 10 tracks, primarily originals by Ryan Kelly and Neil Byrne. And they filmed a documentary of Echoes featuring their travels and their music, which was featured on PBS and at the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. A new release, Ballads, just came out in early 2020, and the duo had been on their first leg of the U.S. tour to promote it when, of course, the pandemic hit. So they were forced to cancel the tour and return to Ireland, where they are now. As members of Celtic Thunder and as Byrne and Kelly, they have performed the live concerts on stage since then as well. Ryan is also an avid photographer. He released a book of the stunning photographs he's taken while out for daily runs between shows around the United States and elsewhere. The book is titled Life on the Road. It's in its second printing, which is amazing. His father, Sean, had passed a few years ago, and loyal son Ryan donates proceeds from the sales of the book to a charity that was very good in caring for his father during his time of illness. That's a very beautiful thing. It's clinched, he says, but music is his life, and it is sort of cliche, he says. It's what makes him happy, and he feels blessed to be able to call this his job. For now, he waits at his home in the Moy with his Boston Terrier, Larry, for the next opportunity to perform, whether it's with Celtic Thunder or Byrne and Kelly. And we're very excited to have him here. Again, I've known him for a long time. We've had great conversations live in the television studio and out of the studio as well. Again, we'll show some more photos. I'm in the center there. I was emceeing one of the Celtic Thunder concerts, actually. This was for a national PBS special, Celtic Thunder with the gang. There we are, also Ryan and myself and Damien. Here we are several years back with Paul Byram as well, having some fun time in the studio here. Again, a lot of cool times together, a lot of Irish in the house. And of course, this picture has become gold, of course, with George and myself and Ryan. But the lads have been performing for a long time. And again, Ryan is a wonderful solo artist as well. And it's my honor to welcome him here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show live and direct from his beautiful home in Northern Ireland. Ryan, welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us, my friend. Welcome.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Good to be here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It's good to see you. I know, like I said, we've known each other for so many years through, of course, Celtic Thunder, Byrne and Kelly. And we've some of us just have all stayed together and, chatting and emailing and rooting for each other. I think that's a really cool thing, isn't it?
I think it totally is, and that's, look, I jumped at the chance when you said to me, that you asked me to come on. I said, God, and you say, like, we've been from the very beginning, you know, back in Connecticut, I think it was probably the first time at the PBS station in Connecticut. It was probably the first time I met you, Jim. And you know, it's been, you're just looking back at the photographs there, like, you know, you've been there as part of the journey, as we all have, and seeing, of course, photographs with all the older members of Celtic Thunder as well as the new ones, and of course Big George. And it's been you know, in a year which has been crazy, and the times are crazy at the minute, we all know that. It's just nice to chat about the good times, and I know, and get those back as soon as we possibly can.
Absolutely right, my friend. So with that, what have you been doing? Have you been getting through these crazy times? Have you remained creative and connected? Have you been, you know, writing music, playing music, walking the dog, getting out in nature, taking the photographs? Tell us what you've been doing.
All of the above, I suppose. Yeah. You know, you know, I have to admit, I think when we, as you said in your synopsis there, we were, myself and Neil and Nicole and Peter were with Angie right on ready to start a Byrne & Kelly tour in March in Texas. And we had, you know, to be perfectly honest, we had traveled out from Ireland and watching the news, and there was talk of you know, a virus in China and over that part of the world, and we've been reading about it, and we thought, God, it looks serious, it looks awful, but yeah, this is not gonna, it probably would, we didn't think it would affect us or affect the way it has. It was actually just one morning we were ready, we were in an Airbnb, we were rehearsing for the tour, and we had booked a few days in advance, you know, to do that, and before we started the tour. And Peter had actually, our keyboard player, had been listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that, one of the most famous podcasts in the world. And he had got the specialist doctor on, like, you know, had been talking. And so Peter messaged us. I remember waking up one morning and Peter, there'd been a message through the WhatsApp group that says, guys, you better listen to this. And this sounds serious. And so we all did. And we all just sort of, we thought, God, this sounds like it's much more than we thought, you know, this could be. And we had to make a call straight away. And we made the call there in the end. In hindsight, it seems, you know, of course, it was the only call to make. But back then, we were going, God, we're going to let people down. You know, we want to do this tour. We're so down to do the tour. Maybe we're making a big thing out of this, and maybe it's not. But of course, as we all know, that was the right. And we got a flight out of Texas and came home, and it was basically shut down from there. So from then, I thank God for I often say thank God for the online, you know, and to be able to with Celtic Thunder, we've been able to do some stage hits with Byrne & Kelly. We're actually doing a stage hit next weekend as well.
Cool.
You know, and that's a way of us playing our music and getting our music out there, and still keeping creative. Neil and myself have still been writing to try and keep that going. And we've been doing a lot of that. I also started a fan club. People have been saying to me for ages, we'd like to start a fan club, but I finally got around to doing it.
Yeah.
The RKFC, we've come to call it the Ryan Kelly Fan Club. And it's been keeping me sane, to be honest. And I see a lot, I just going down the comments, there's a lot of the fan club members in tonight. And it's just, you know, every week I get to spend 2-3, it started off, it was like a 1 hour video, maybe once a week. It's grown to 3 hours now. So sometimes I have to stop myself and go, okay,
that must be an Irish thing. You sound like me, because this show is supposed to have been like a 1 hour, and then I was going to do it, maybe take a day or two off and just do it once in a while. And now we do it 7 nights a week, and sometimes it's gone for that long. It's just when you're in touch with people, it's a really cool experience for them and for you, isn't it?
You know, I think, and you know, you speak. I get a lot of what you're saying. What the purpose of this show, yours is, and exactly is what my fan club has become. At the start, I didn't know what I thought it'd be somewhere for us to maybe sing a few songs and talk and whatever. But it's become more of a community than anything. And in these times, and especially in 2020, as we all know, where it's just been such difficult times. It's I found it as a place where people we just share stories and share good stories and bad stories, but it's all about sharing together.
That's right.
Enjoying the music, enjoying a love for music, but a love more for the community and what it represents. So I mean, I get a lot out of it, you know, and I hope that the fan club members do as well. But it's just, that's the whole idea, and I think it's the beauty of you know, social media gets a lot of flack, of course, and it's not. There's some poisonous stuff on there as well.
People who, yeah,
people are going to exploit it everywhere. But at the end of the day, there is some nice channels for it to do good, and I think stuff like this that you're doing, and I hope stuff that we're doing as well, is a way for us, at least when we're not out on the road and playing music, which is what we dying to get back out and do again. At least we could do this,
Exactly. We've got a lot of great comments in here. I really appreciate all these comments that come in. Kathleen Walker, she's a dear friend, watches the show every night. She's here saying hello. She's in New York City. And Denise here, look at all those tans on their faces. That must be us. That's it.
I've got my tan is gone because I've been in Ireland instead of America, so I have no tan left anymore. I miss the sun. I swear.
That's it. Great photos, great times, Jim. I think it's Melanie Schmidt or somebody said, "Oh, Jim goes on and on like the Celtic Thunder guys," as a teaser. This is called a talk show, Melanie. Welcome to the Jim Masters Talk Show.
I'm just a guest. That's all.
I tell you.
To be fair, I mean, you toasted there while I wasn't on. I think it's only fair that I get to toast with you as well.
Oh yeah,
nice. Of course, they got the Jameson, and I will.
Yes, there you go.
What is your drink? I just see it's the green. What is it? Some sort of.
It's like a watermelon martini. Not cool. Really refreshing. Really nice.
That's nice.
Something light, while we're working. Supposedly, right?
Okay. What time is it there? I mean, I've got.
Right now it's 7:29 p.m. and it's 12:30 a.m. for you, right?
Yeah, so I've got an excuse. I can drink because
and it's past 5 o'clock here too. So once it's past 5, Ernestine Webb in North Carolina, what a talented young man, which is terrific. Rhonda Murphy, hi Ryan, RKFC forever, which is great. Cheryl is saying hi as well, which is really nice to see. Folks are watching on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV, as well as on Facebook. Everybody greeting, which is really, really nice. Joey and Becky and Barbara, Tanya, Adriana. We welcome everybody to our show. Margaret says hello. Irish 43. I love it. Hi, Brian. And hello from Kelly Jones Case, Marianne. Renee, who's in Iowa, she watches our show every night. Hello, Renee. She welcomes you as well into the world of lovelies. Denise loves the picture of me, you, and George together. I remember that in the studio. Exactly. Yeah. They think that you've been keeping late hours. Who hasn't? I go to bed at 3 a.m.
Is that the way, because I look at my bags under me? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Exactly. Kath Connor says hello. KC Curry goes, to be 40 years younger. That's it. That's funny. Barbara, Gloria, Natasha, and Deb. Really, really nice. Wendy says darker in the house than in our chats. It's after midnight for him.
Yeah, because I usually film the video, the RKFC, the fan club chats during the day. But it is, it's this is the midnight, the bewitching hour.
The witching hour. Yeah. Kelly says hi. Merlin, who watches our show religiously. She's up in Innerkip, Ontario, Canada. She's giving claps. Ryan, we're so happy to see you again.
Thank you.
I know for some, this might be one of the first times since all of this that they're seeing you here on the show, which I think is great. And one of the reasons why I love the show that I've created 15 weeks ago. Really, really nice. And more hi, Ryan. I'm very viewer centric, so I like to acknowledge the fabulous people that are watching the show and supporting the show.
Jim, Larry is my dog. Yeah, you've seen you.
That's why they're saying hello to Larry, right?
Larry, they're saying hello to Larry, but actually, Larry, I left Larry. Larry's upstairs lying in my bed already. He's gone. It's gone midnight. He's gone. He's
out for the count. Mary Bishop welcomes you. She watches the show often. Carla welcomes you. Avril Britton, who's a great fan of our show, she's right across the channel there. She's in Hampshire. in United Kingdom there in England. So she watches all the time. Susan is here and Debbie is here and a lot of great folks. RV Debs, sweet. Oh yes, Scream Queen Army. That's Chris. He lives in Comber by Belfast.
Well, Cumber, yeah.
He's a fan of our show, watches every night on YouTube.
Cumber 29. Oh, Chris.
Yeah, he's like a neighbor, right?
He is, yeah. I probably could wave him out through the window. Okay.
And that's it, right? Exactly. I wonder if he's got his Jameson too. And
I hope so.
Avid fan of our show, Willie. She's watching in Holland, in Netherlands. Welcome, Ryan, into the Jim Masters show. More welcomes coming in here from 007, Susan. Jennifer Barry, she watches our shows. Slancha, she's proud of her Irish heritage. Barbara Danilo watches our show in San Diego, California. He says, welcome to Lovety Hall, Ryan.
Yes. So I'm officially a Lovety now. Is that what you're saying, Jim?
You're now a Lovety. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody that watches the show is a Lovety because the show is all about light, love, and levity. And I fumbled on the words one night and it became Lovety.
I'm happy to be a Lovety. That's fine.
It's a good one. There's a lot worse things we could be, right?
I've been called a lot worse, believe me. So Lovety's not bad.
Right. Lovety's really a good one. Really nice, great comments we got coming in here. And it's really nice to see, the folks that are commenting, cheers, and Ryan Jam, Slancha, and I toast with Jameson, straight up. Is yours straight up or?
Oh yes, God, yeah. We wouldn't poison it with anything at all. Just
no, you can't even.
A bit of ice, maybe. That's all.
Exactly. Keeps us talking. And hello from Texas. We welcome you, Alice, and we appreciate all you do. Hello, such a great community. Absolutely. Hope and pray you can resume your American dream. Absolutely. Chris in Comber says, hope you're keeping well, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Watching from Denmark.
There you go, Pete. Yes.
Yeah.
I reckon so many names. All these names, they're all like it's
wonderful people, right? They're so.
They'll be friends of all tuned in. That's what it feels like.
Absolutely, we welcome them to our entertainment lifestyle show. Hopefully, they'll watch the show regularly. Your other buddy, Neil Byrne, is on next Sunday with us.
Next Sunday, yes. Yeah.
And then Paul Byram on September 6th, Richmond, Virginia.
We do our stage at next Saturday, and then Neil's on with you next.
And then
Sunday.
Neil will be on.
It's a busy weekend.
Hope he gets some sleep.
No chance, but that's all part of it. That's what we do.
Smoky Sacramento, yes, Smoky, because of the fires in California. We hope everything's okay there, Constance. Joe and Sean, and really wonderful. I like to really be so interactive with everybody. We're sending you some sun.
Please do.
And thanks for coming on, and cheers. Forever Jameson. And Becky and Joey. Ryan can't talk unless his hands are free.
This is the thing, Jim. I talk with my hands.
I do too. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's been a lifeline for so many during the time of the lockdown and isolation, which is beautiful.
Okay.
That's why we do all these things, because like you and I were talking before we went live on the air. We feed off the energy of people, and then we like to give it back, through the work.
It's a two-way process for sure,
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Jameson at midnight. Okay. Come to South Africa for some sun.
There you go. Once the gates open, I'll be there. I swear.
You'll go everywhere, wherever you can go, right?
I always want to go because I want to go and do a safari. I always want to do a safari. That's my dream holiday. So South Africa might be the place to do that, I swear.
Tell us how you got started. I mentioned, in that introduction, and we like to do an introduction like that because there might be people watching who discovers the guest for the very first time. And also there might be little tidbits in that introduction that we do that people weren't aware of about you and your life and your passions. Your father of a musical talent, was that the real inspiration early on for you, Ryan, to sort of plunge into this world of music and entertainment?
I think it probably was, Jim. My dad, Sean, he was, he wasn't a professional musician or in any way, but he he used to play the organ and sing, and he would have sang, and he was the organist in our local chapel and sang. And then he would have sang in pubs and I had sessions, as we call them over here, and stuff like that. And so there was always music in the house. There was always his organ was always down our sitting room, as we called it, in the front of our house. And so I guess, you know, I always say it's not that you as an Irish person, you don't sort of fall into music. You have to fall out of it. You know what I mean? Because it's basically there. And you either grasp it or maybe it's not for you and something else is for you, you know. And but I loved it, and I remember, like, some of my earliest memories is that I used to. I think I remember when people come to the house and I was like maybe 3 years old or something, and my mum would get me to, my dad would get me to sing that song, and I'd sing some. I don't even. It was something about a chicken or something. I don't know what the song even was, but that was the way, and that was it. And I obviously then sort of got this, people are listening to me, and you know, even in your wee small head at 3 years old, you're going, God, there's something in this, you know. And as I said then, you know, going through primary school, which our first, you know, you get to primary school at the age of four, and at the age of 7, you make your first Holy Communion as part of the Catholic Church thing here in Ireland. And I was asked to sing at that, and my dad played the organ, and that was my first time ever singing in front of a crowd, you know. And I remember it as well. The whole day I can sort of remember it, and I was so nervous and panicking, and I went up to sing, and I got out of the pew to go, and I was the next on to go and sing, and I had forgotten the words. I left a sheet of words behind me, and so thank God I signaled down to my dad, who saved the day and came up and gave me the words, and then I sang, and that was me from the age of 7 years old. And since then, you know, that was the first time I had sang, and I got bitten by the bug, I guess, and you know, sang in choirs all the way through school, and that progressed, but I never thought that I'd be. I never saw it as a career. I mean, that was for rock stars and for people who were real musicians and real singers, and I was just doing this as a hobby, and it took. I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't think I ever thought of it as a career until 2007. You know, when I went for this audition. Never been to an audition in my life, and didn't even.
Because you were studying. You have an accounting background, right? You studied to be a professional accountant.
Yeah. I mean, that was. I mean, I was always going to get a job and do that. You know, never. I mean, singing. This is something I did. I sang in choirs, and then I sang in bars with you know, as part of a group. Emergency Exit was the name of our band. We had a 2-piece, and I've told the story before, but I'll tell it to anyone who hasn't heard it before. But myself and this other guy from a village here, Rocco is his name, and we decided we're gonna, you know, we could do a 2-piece and play in bars, and that he played electric guitar, and I played acoustic and sang, and he sang backing vocals and stuff. But we needed a name for our group, but couldn't think of what, you know, because every name has been taken. And he says, "Rant, I've got the name." And I says, "What is it?" And he said, "Emergency Exit." And I said, "Emergency Exit, right?" And he says, "Do you know why?" He says, "Everywhere we go, our name is up in lights." And I thought, oh, okay, I'll accept that, because I mean, it could be a lot worse. So that was, so I was playing with Emergency Exit at the weekends, but still working as an accountant, and then I was in between. I was ready to start another job, and I got a few weeks off in between, and my brother rang me and said, "Did you see that there's this like a thing in the paper about this Phil Coulter, who of course everybody knows Phil Coulter here, you know, one of the legends of Irish music."
Oh yeah.
You know? And he had been talking about, he had been looking to start a band, a stage show of Irish men, and for the potential of singing Irish music, maybe in the likes of America and other places. And so I said, "Look, I have nothing to do for the next 3 weeks. I'm waiting to start the other job. I'll get on and give us a go. And as luck would have it, I was chosen as one of the 5, and that was it. So my life changed forever in March of 2007.
Can you imagine? Yeah. And what was that like? I mean, when you told the family and you said, guess what? I'm going to be a part of this whole new thing, this Celtic Thunder creation. What did you think?
Well,
what did they think?
It was the easiest. People said to me too and said, like, because then I just said, so I just jacked in my job straight away, and my accountancy job. I had studied, all my life. Went to university, studied 3 years university to get my degree in accountancy. Studied another year to get a postgrad in advanced accountancy, and then I'd done more exams to become a chartered, all this sort of thing. And I never say I wasted that time, because that was part of my building to what I am. But people have often said to me, "Oh God, that must have been a very tough decision." And I said it's one of the easiest decisions of my life, because this is what in the back of my mind, is always what I wanted to do. And when I got the chance, when Sharon Brown and Phil Coulter said, "Look, there's a chance that this could be something," I just said, "Right, I'm going to go for it." I was 28, I think, years of age, and I said, "Look, this is probably my last chance of ever having a chance of doing this. And if it fails, it fails, and I'll go back and I'll start again, and I'll go back to a job, and I'll do that. But I never want to, be thinking in 10 years' time, regret the time that I didn't take that opportunity and stayed on a job just for security, So I went back to my parents, and they were over the moon about it. Like I often said, as your piece said, we lost my dad 4 years ago, and as I said, my dad was worked hard all his life. He was a shirt cutter in a shirt factory, but there he is.
Yeah.
That's actually, that picture's taken from our first tour, and I got to take the guy, my dad and my mum, out to Orlando was our final show, and I was never so proud. They'd gone to New York first, and seen us there, but that was the night of the final show, and but I said it was always my dad's dream to be a musician and play music for a living, and I often thought then I was living his dream, So so I thought, so people say, like, was it ever a tough decision? No, because I've always thought I was living my dad's dream through doing what I was doing, and I just loved the fact that I was doing that,
Yeah.
And the fact, like, I mean, as I said, just before that they came out to Orlando, we played Radio City Music Hall, and I was able to bring my dad and mum and my sister Colette to Radio City Music Hall to see us play in Radio City, and I said, like, this is surreal and incredible, and I just thought that's if I die here, I'm happy, because that's what I've done that,
That's, I mean, blessed for him to have been aware of that and to know of that successful situation, right?
I know the fact, you're right, Jim. I mean, I would hate to think that if my dad had passed before I got the experience of all that, and he wasn't able to share it with me, and I'm so glad that I was able to share that with him, and of course my mum and the rest of my family, so it was so lovely to do that,
Yeah. So then Celtic Thunder, begins, and the rest becomes history. Tell us about those first early years of Celtic Thunder, when everybody's figuring out what it's going to be and how it's going to work out, and the response that you guys were getting, and just unbelievable, and working with the other guys too, what that's been like over all these years now.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. The first few years, it was the great unknown, to be honest. We didn't know. I mean, to be honest, like, when you think of the first 5 guys, myself, George, Keith Harkin, Paul Byram, and we were sort of like, and obviously Damien as well. Damien being a child, and so Paul was the only one who really had any experience in the music industry effectively. The rest of us were just going in, not knowing what to expect, what this could bring, and I think there was something very special about that because everything was new and everything was exciting. And I remember, we went to New York, the March before we did the first tour, and we were singing at the St. Patrick's Day parade in New York, and we were doing TV, and people were recognizing us because the show had been on PBS, and it was just incredible. I was going, this is surreal, and it was just so. I don't mean strange. It was just so exciting. Everything was just so exciting, and that's the way it really was all through those first few years. It was just, everything was new, and you were just getting better experiences all the time. I remember we did our very first tour in 2008, and I remember coming close to the end. I think the first tour was about 3.5 months, and we were getting close to the end. And Big George and myself, Big George Donaldson, because I think we had probably, we were probably the two that had done normal jobs in inverted commas. And George was a bus builder. I had worked as an accountant. We had done the 9 to 5, and here we were traveling around America and Canada, being treated amazingly well, singing fantastic audiences. And our lives were just on a high, and we were like going, how can we leave this? And there's part of us going, if we go home at Christmas, is this it over? Is our dream, you know what I mean? Because I guess there's always the doubt in the back of your mind going, this is too good to be real. And George and myself actually stayed on for a couple of days after the tour ended, just to sort of get ourselves right before we actually came back home, because we were just so caught up in this amazing dream that was that first year of Celtic Thunder. And it was, it was so surreal. It really was. And then it became, I'm not saying it became banal or anything at all, but over the years it became more of a reality, and you got used to it, I guess, if you can get used to it. But it was just something that I think you get more, it becomes obviously more part of your life, and repetition, I guess it becomes more familiarity. So it was, it's been, but that, don't get me wrong, I love every tour, and I will be as excited the next Celtic Thunder tour or the next Burning Kelly tour as I was the first Celtic Thunder tour, because everything brings something different, and I just love. I mean, people say, what's your favorite part of your job? And some people like the studio, some people like creating music or building music or whatever. Me, it's being on stage, and I don't think anything beats that, and just having that touring life, and I want to get back to it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have really, you've created something that is rather unique, wouldn't you say? And even as some guys, move on and do solo and come in and out of the group, what have you, it's always sort of, I guess, maintained the texture, the integrity, and the image of what it initially was set out to be, right?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point, and people have said that to me and said, as the group has changed and the members have changed, has it not changed? And I think you're right. The dynamics can change as people come in and out of the group, but I think that we've never lost what the purpose of Celtic Thunder really is. And to be honest, and Will said, you have Neil on next week. Will said exactly. I think Damien probably said it last week. The four of us now here, we feel it's the strongest bond we've ever had in our group, and it's just, I think because we spent so much time together now, more than ever, and now during lockdown, we're doing a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of chatting, because of the Celtic Thunder stage and stuff like that, and we just laugh, and we have crack all the time, as we say here, Aaron. And
Yeah.
we've our own WhatsApp group, and we are forever, just chatting, and it's something we've built, and I think there's a strength in that. But I mean, it's amazing. I love the very first show we did, Celtic Thunder, the show. There's something very special about that because it was the first one, and I loved, because the previous few stages we've done, and we went back and we looked at our early shows, and there's something very special about that because it was so new and something that we've never. It's a life-changing show, and so that 5 was amazing. The 4 we have now as well, and it's just it's great the way it was all about, I suppose, renewing what we had and changing it up, but making it special again, and that's, I think, and there's a lot of credit goes to Sharon Brown, for our producer, for being able to do that and choosing the right people, along the way.
Absolutely. Danilo says the singing accountant. Same here.
Oh, yes. I would think he's probably a much more better accountant than I ever was, I would say.
So, as Celtic Thunder, sort of stormed along and things were taking off and growing, and what was that experience really like for you? I mean, because then you start getting noticed more, people start becoming, super fans, and you see them at meets and greets. I've been with you at lots of the meets and greets and have emceed a lot of the Celtic Thunder concerts as Master Ceremonies. We've done a lot of, again, this television studio interviews with you and the gang from Celtic Thunder through many different situations. And what was that like for you now as the fandom started coming your way and adjusting to all of that? Some people adjust to it beautifully. Some people, it's a little bit, interesting to deal with the constant barrage of attention. How did you handle it, Ryan?
I think I was lucky, Jim, and it was nothing I'd planned or anything, because I didn't know I think you don't know what to expect or where it's going to go to, but I just embraced it. I swear, I embraced it because the fans have always been amazing, and I think you can see that, I guess, because I always loved the one thing I loved about Celtic Thunder, and I love about Byrne and Kelly, I love about what we do as a solo artist and everything too, is to be able to talk to people and hear people's stories. And when you get people come up to you and saying, your music has got me through this, your music has, we put on the DVD and in bad times and it makes me happy because X, Y, and Z. And for me, that was the big thing. Listening to people, giving people a hug at a meet and greet, and knowing that is something that they like, and that could improve their day, because I'm not trying, I don't mean in any fake way at all. It's just that there's something very special. I came from nowhere in the music industry to be thrust into a position where I was able to, through probably not much part of my own, but to make people's lives better through the music or through what it is, and that's, for that reason, I love that I can give them this opportunity to do that. And so to me, it's I never got freaked out about it. If someone came to me and said, I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to you for 10 minutes about, as many of our tour managers will testify, they've often had to push people on from meet and greets because I've been talking and listening for far too long, and you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people.
You and I are like that.
I'm just so interested in that, and I love the fact that that's what it does, and
it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? When you get a chance to do that, when you get a chance, I find that in my work, as a television presenter and a host and radio and everything, all these years, and the work I've done, same thing. There's something, and we've had a lot of these conversations with some of the guests on this show where there's something so beautiful when you have people that do come up to you that recognize you for the work that you're doing. That is something that comes naturally for you, that you love, that you work hard for, that you fine tune and you tweak and you try to perfect, you try to get better and better as you go along. And then somebody will stop you in the street, or somebody will see you in a supermarket or at a meet and greet, or, you know, in a studio where I am. And they'll say, you know, I just want to let you know, I've been following what you do for years. I've been watching you on stage or watching on television, and I just have to tell you, you inspire me. You lift my day. The work, your craft, which comes naturally for me and naturally for you, has the potential to really inspire and lift people, and lift them in ways that we sometimes don't even realize as we're doing it, because we're focused on what we're doing. But then when we hear it back from fabulous fans around the world, or even in our hometowns, it's really tells you why you're doing what you're doing. That's how I always have felt about my work. And I know you're very much like that.
I totally agree, Jim. And that's the thing. I think we've been blessed with something that we don't know why or whatever, but it's just one of those things that has happened. And that's exactly it. If you know, and I often think, for some reason, I think that people, I find this, you know, with the fan club as well, is that people can open up to you much more than they may be able to do to their friends or their colleagues or even their family. And they can tell you something that they maybe don't want to tell them. And I think that's class, that I can listen to that. And exactly, as I say, look, if they take away something, or they can go back and listen to, if a song you've written or just a song you've sang or whatever it is, and it's made their day better, I'm all for that. You know. Exactly
right. More comments coming in here as well. No wonder why you and I are friends, both so honest and candid, humble and approachable.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Beautiful, beautiful. So it's a date, Babs.
They must be organizing.
I think that's
a get together somewhere.
Yeah, we are blessed every day, and gotcha, Babs. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, some really, really nice comments coming in. So, you know, when you look at the body of work that Celtic Thunder has done, and of course, one of the key linchpins in all of that being George, and the loss of George made a significant, there we are in the studio with George, at one of the public television events, but the loss of George during all of this at such a young age and so suddenly it leaves its mark, it leaves its impact. How did all of you guys, I know we really didn't talk about this much on public television because there's really not a lot of time. There's the tickets and the DVDs and the CDs and all the other stuff that you have to talk about. But how did you guys deal with that, and how did that impact you guys collectively and individually? Such a strong, humble, gentle sense of strength and power George was for Celtic Thunder, and a friend deeply for you and the gang.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think that's the first and foremost, you know, as much as George was a colleague and the big guy on stage who was the amazing voice, George is my friend and will always be my friend, first of all. You know, as I say, I think from the early days, because myself and George were, I suppose there was, we were slightly older, and I know Paul was around our same age, but Paul was, you know, because as I said earlier, Paul had been in the music business and was probably a bit more savvy in the whole music industry. George and myself had come, we were both two singers who sang in pubs at the weekends, but had real jobs during the week. And this was thrust upon us. So I think we sort of, you know, we naturally sort of just came together. I think we're both from very similar families and similar, you know, values and ideals. So I often say that myself and George are thick as thieves, and that's where we were through Celtic Thunder. We often spent many days off together and just, you know, I loved him. I loved him. He's just such an amazing man, and just a a big strong man, but as gentle. They talk about the gentle giant. That's who George was. And well, I associate. I mean, I suppose first of all, I was going to say the first experience I suppose we got with the phenomenon that was Celtic Thunder, or is Celtic Thunder. Myself and George and Gene Concy, who you know well, Jim, and a lot of the viewers will know as well. We did our very first PBS trip, and it was myself and George, and I think our very first station visit was Trenton, New Jersey, and I remember it as well. And we were sort of, because obviously the show had played a wee bit in on PBS, and we came out and to sort of then pledge it, but it was the first time that we had ever experienced fans or people who had even seen the show. Myself and George was thrust into this room, and people came towards us and said, "Oh my gosh, right!" And you go, "How do you even know my name?" You know what I mean? Because it was all so new to us, and it seemed the two of us were sort of just in this bubble together, and we traveled through it together. As I told you earlier about us waiting on after the first tour ended, because we needed time to just sort of detox and go, my God, what have we just experienced there? And so it was just, I always associate PBS actually with George's death in a strange way, in that I was out with Jane. I was actually doing PBS in Detroit the very night that we went back to the hotel after we'd done with Fred Nihat in the PBS station in Detroit, and we went back to the hotel, and the early that morning the word came through that Big George had passed, and I remember being in complete shock and disbelief, and I went and spoke to Jane and told her, and it was just shock, and then it was just get home, and again, it's still, I mean, it's still, even to this day, it's hard to believe that, because I just even look, I mean, Big George was here many night, and this is my living room here at home, and I often think of him here one night, because we were recording the Christmas album for Celtic Thunder in the studio up the north of Ireland, and we finished early, a few days early, because we just got everything done. And I said, "Here, come on, we'll all go back to the Moy, come back to my house, and we'll have a bit of a party and go down to the local bar and stuff." And so it's always, I think of Big George, I think of him here, and just enjoying the crack as I had with him in so many bars and so many theaters across the US, Canada, Australia. Yeah, he was a special man, and he'll always be, a massive, massive part of Celtic Thunder, and an original, and the original, I suppose, and never change.
Joy Jenks says you and George were more like brothers in so many ways.
I agree. I think he was, and he was my brother on tour, and I think I was that for him. I hope I was that for him as well. We were, yeah.
And and of course you mentioned one of the other, we all have influences in our lives, and sometimes they are our family, sometimes they are people we've always looked up to that have paved the way for the careers that we have. You mentioned earlier, and we touched upon it, showed this earlier, but your dad, Sean, really, truly a very big source of inspiration for you. And I mean, you could see the love right there in his Irish eyes for you. That really was a very deep and loving relationship with your dad, wasn't it? And you're blessed, because I've had that, but not everybody is lucky to have that.
Yeah, I get that totally, and sometimes, you know, when I do talk so lovingly about my dad, sometimes I feel like I go, oh God, because I do appreciate that not everyone is lucky enough to have that, you know. But I often say he was my hero. He's still my hero, you know. He's the, I don't, you know, as I said, I felt from the first day I went and worked with Celtic Thunder, went on tour with Celtic Thunder. I was living his dream, and there was no one as excited about. We used to get the itinerary, obviously before you went out on tour, and the itinerary would be 40, 50 pages long, and I would make sure and print it out so he could have it before I went on tour. So he would know every day where I was and what was next. So he would know what time soundcheck was on in Indiana, and he would know what to, because that was, you know, and I just love, and I love calling him and calling him and my mom and just telling them the day and telling this is what happened, this what happened, and yeah, it was just so special, and I was, as I said, so glad you have to share that. I was able to, I brought them out to Australia as well, because my dad's sister Bernadette, who has since passed as well, she emigrated with her husband to Australia, to Newcastle, New South Wales. I know there's people from Australia watching tonight as well. They over probably 50 years ago, they emigrated to Australia from Ireland. It took them 6 weeks on a boat to get out to Australia back in the day. And we were lucky enough to play in Newcastle maybe 2-3 times, I guess, and subsequently with Byrne and Kelly as well. But my dad and my mum went out and saw us perform in Australia as well. So it's just, there's so many special things like that sort of make it amazing, you know, and make me so thankful for the experience I've had with Celtic Thunder, you know.
A couple of people were asking as well, how's your mom? How's your family overall? How's everybody doing? Especially through all of this that we've all collectively have been going through, you know, around the world with the pandemic and everything else. How's the family? How's your mom doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, my mum's 80 years of age now, so she's obviously in that, you know,
risk area.
Exactly. So the first few months of this pandemic, it was very much, you know, I would go up to her and we had to stay outside. We had to be at a distance because you have to follow the rules and follow the advice, which is, look, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Thankfully, you know, as it, you know, the advice has sort of lessened as that, and we can now sort of, at least I could bring her shopping and do stuff like that and do all that. It's become better. And actually last weekend, because my mum turned 80 in March, and I was due to go out on tour anyway, and we decided that we were going to have her celebration at Easter. And obviously with the pandemic, that didn't happen. But last weekend, finally we were able to have and celebrate her 80th birthday. So that was lovely to do that. And you know, my mum is doing good, thank God. And it's nice. It's one of the benefits of being home. She's never had me home so much in 13 years.
It's like you're a kid again. It's
exactly. So that's it. So she's good with that. And saying that, because she's always, when I'm away, Larry, my dog, my Boston Terrier, she keeps him when I'm away. So she's seen a lot less of Larry, which she's not happy about. But at the same time, she sees more of me. So it's a balancing act, I suppose.
She's happy to see her son, absolutely, and very proud too, wouldn't you say? I'm sure she's just bowled over by everything that's come into your life, huh?
You know, yeah. I mean, you know, it's lovely that you know, as I say, it's lovely to get to share, and that's what I've shared the whole experience with my family, and I think that's the beauty of what's happened over the last few years, Jim, is being able to do that, you know. And do you know what? She shares the fans as well. A lot of them are speaking tonight. I mean, my mum, the one thing about Celtic Thunder fans, Byrne and Kelly fans, Ryan Kelly fans, is that their generosity is incredible. And my mum has got flowers, she's got well wishes, she's got everything coming from fans. I think she gets more than I do now, which I'm okay with. But it's the beauty of it, the fact that, you know, people are just so kind. incredibly kind, and she so appreciates that as well. You know?
It's a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing. Michelle Allen says, hi, Ryan, love hearing you again. And Claudia, hello, Ryan, it's wonderful. I love seeing the live show. And
we're going to get back, Claudia. Live shows will happen soon.
Yeah. That's right. Danilo in San Diego, California, 80 years old. Bless her heart, of course. A lot of people commenting they're really enjoying the interview that we're having as well. Dedicated, loving son. He loves his mother so much. I know how that is. Mine is in Florida, and in my situation, we haven't been able to go to visit because of the flights and the planes. So birthdays, Mother's Day, the Father's Day, the St. Patrick's Day, the Easter. Everybody's all separated, and it's a tough thing because of the the flights. Nobody's really flying, and so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so when you look at all of this, are you Celtic Thunder, it's been a number of years now and still going strong, but you then branched out, which I think was a really cool thing. You and Neil decided to put together Byrne and Kelly. Tell us about some of the inspiration were you guys just, buddies talking about, what, we're really good together. We play off each other well. We like to have fun. We like, we inject humor. We do our songs. How about you and I, come together and do our thing on the side as well and go touring and see the fans? How did the whole Byrne and Kelly thing come about, Ryan?
Well, again, we have to, Jim, we have to thank PBS for probably that is for Byrne and Kelly as well. In that Neil and myself were put together, as over the years with Celtic Thunder, we go out and so we'll be doing a pledge run with PBS, and of course you can't have all 5 guys, in the one station. So they split us up, and maybe 2 will go here, 2 will go there, and Neil and myself, we ended up doing a PBS tour, and for a few of them, we were actually singing together. I'm not even sure what the songs you were singing, but a lot of people had messaged this, God, the 2 of you sing really well together, and you suit each other, your style suits each other, and this got us thinking, and we just actually literally just said one day, because we knew that both of us had obviously, Neil's a much more accomplished musician than I am, and had played a lot more in bands and stuff during his life than I had. But we talked about it and said, God, we have similar interest in music and what we do. Would it be worth just giving it a go and saying, can you imagine if we went and played a few gigs and see if it works or not? And literally that was what it was. And we said, right, let's book a few gigs. And lo and behold, it worked. We got a set list together. I remember the very first gig down in Florida, because we were playing it. We did a PBS pledge that same night, and we finished the pledge, and then we went to Dunedin in Florida. It was our very first gig, and we went there. Everyone was in the venue by the time we got there. We had to do like a 1-chord sound check and just play the gig, and it went down a bomb. And we said, God, there's something in this. There's something in this, and that's where it started. And look, from there, we always wanted to write music. I think it took a few years for us to get established a sound, establish what we wanted to do, and then we introduced Nicole, obviously Neil's fiance, who is such an amazing fiddle player, and she sort of then it grew from there. Peter Sheridan has been with us quite a few years as well now, a great piano player as well, who's written some stuff with us as well, and it's just grown, and it's very much I think when you're writing your music, playing your music, singing your music, it's something very special about it, and something we're so excited again. Like Celtic Thunder, we just want to get back out the road, play more music, and do it again. As I said, we've got a stage show next weekend where we're going to be playing some of our new stuff and some of our old stuff as well. And just to get playing music again is something pretty special, and that's what we're dying to do.
Yeah. And that's what's great. I mean, you got this really cool relationship together, and that new album out too, Ballads, right? You were just about to really embark on a
Yeah.
tour, and then of course all this came about. Tell us about that and putting that album together, Ballads.
Well, it was something we talked about. And we said, do you realize that, a lot of our live gigs, the sing-alongs are the ballads, and those are songs that mean so much to us. And over, as you say, I think 2012 when we started, so it wasn't that we've got but I suppose there, in thinking about that, the 7-8 years of touring,
Yeah,
certain songs that when we start to play, people, the crowd just goes boom, and you go, there's something that just clicks in people's heads, and we said, I'd love to, we were talking about this, we'd love to re-record these or record them for the first time, because we played a lot of songs live but never had them in an album or anything like that. And we said, yeah, this is what this album needs to be, ballads. It's songs that you can put on in your car or put on just at home, have a glass of Jameson, have a cup of tea, whatever you want, just listen to it and sing along. And that's exactly how that started. And it's a mixture of our own songs that we've written ourselves and our classic songs that we just loved performing over the years. And it got down. It went really, really, it went down really well. And that was what our 2020 tour was all about, was coming out and playing these songs live. But that's what our 2021 tour will be all about, is taking that and doing it. And when everything opens again and please God, we get back to some sort of normality, that's what we'll do,
This was a cool one too. Acoustically Irish.
That was the beginning. That was the start. And that was us going we chose songs that we loved, and we thought, let's put our own Byrne and Kelly spin on it, or Neil Byrne and Ryan Kelly, as we were there then. Acoustically Irish, we thought, and just put our own versions of that, and see where it goes. And thank God, people were so kind, and I loved it, and it sort of kicked off the whole thing.
A lot of people commenting about ballads. They love ballads.
Oh, that's so nice to see.
Has a magical effect on my imagination. They paint images in my mind. They inspire me to paint. Thank you for that. Jim, I'm liking the touch of turquoise tonight. Styling, thanks for the great show. Julie Wolf, our pleasure. And I love Danilo. I love ballads as well. Ready for 2021?
You and me both, Kathy, I swear.
Absolutely. And they love you guys together as well. And you both, having interviewed you guys on television multiple times, you do have great senses of humor, and you take the work seriously, but don't always take life as seriously, which is a good balance, right? Because sometimes you can't take life too seriously. You have to just live it and enjoy it, because life can throw, as we've learned this year, life can throw anything at us, right?
Big time, Jim. Do you know, I swear, I was down a few weeks ago, a few weekends ago, down with Neil and Nicole, and baby Fleur, of course, who is the love of my life. She is just Neil and Nicole's baby is just, she's gorgeous. But and we were just, I spent the weekend, and it was the first time since lockdown that I was able to go down, and we laughed the whole weekend. We were there to do some sort of work. We did a bit of work, but we laughed and I came up from it going, that's what tour with Byrne and Kelly is. We just laugh the whole time, and we just go out and we play gigs, and we take the music serious, but we have a laugh. And you sort of go, that's my job. And you have to sort of take a step back, go, is that actually what my job is? Right. How lucky I am that that's the case. I get to do my job with my friends, and that's the same with Byrne and Kelly, with Celtic Thunder, is that you get to work with your friends, and we just we say stupid stuff. We do stupid. As anyone who's testament, it comes to Burn and Kelly gigs, as you have yourself, Jim. We say a lot of stupid stuff. We do a lot of stupid things, and it just makes us laugh, and we just have fun. And as you say, in a year like this, when we're all ready to go back in 2021, please God, everyone's going to be ready for that and ready just to enjoy themselves and laugh and just enjoy music again, and enjoy just being out, enjoy the community, enjoy being with other people again, And I think
that's exactly right. A couple of people asked, I think Jennifer Barry asked, what do you do to sort of get zen, to sort of relax and calm down and to, just pass the time when you're off tour? I mean, obviously right now you're off tour, so there's a lot, but generally, because I remember I was telling Damien, and if folks want to watch the interview that I did with Damien McGinty, it's right here on the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. We did a fantastic interview with our mutual friend Damien, and we also did one with Chloe Agnew from Celtic Woman as well, and that's on the YouTube channel here at Jim Masters TV. We got Neil Byrne coming next week, Paul Byram September 6th. But I remember, and I think it was right around this photo here, when you guys were telling me, and I mentioned this to Damien, what it was like. You guys had been on like a 72 city tour. Bang, 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 bang. This is behind the scenes at one of the concerts, and I was introducing you guys on stage on behalf of public television. And I mean, when you think about that, 72 city tour, that's a lot. How do you guys get the stamina and all of the, the inspiration to go bang, bang, bang from place to place to place, and all the energy? Do you feed off the energy of each other and of the audience to keep going, especially when you have, 72 cities, meets and greets, sound checks, and getting on, in the bus and going here and going there and flying and all? What is that like for you guys? Are you energized through it all and then wiped out when it's done?
I mean, I think for me, I swear, when you say 70 gigs, 70 cities, it's exactly that. The fact that it's 72 different places, and it's the beauty of being in somewhere new every day. And so the way I approach it is that, you're in a new city today, and it doesn't matter what happened last night. The guys who have been good enough to pay to come and see us tonight, this is their one show. So they have a tour of one. They don't have a tour of 72 cities. They have a tour of one city. And so, and it's all about getting the energy. You know yourself, Jim, about getting the energy off a crowd, or that's what it's all about. And it's never, I swear, I don't know. I mean, it could be different for other people. For myself, it's never been a problem for me. I've never gone out and gone, oh God, here we go again, because it's just every theater's different, every city's different. I mean, as you know, I've said before about being a runner, going out. I love going out every morning in a new city and just get out there and running and just seeing the sights and go, oh God, it's, whether it's whether it's Toronto or whether it's Dallas, Texas, or wherever, Saskatchewan, it doesn't matter, or it's Sydney. It's just about, and you go, wow, this is, and for me, it used to be going out and going, do you know where it's 8:30, it's 9 a.m. in the morning. I would be probably I'd be sitting at my desk here and work in my other life. Here I am, I'm running over Sydney Harbour Bridge, or I'm and you're going, I mean, the least I could be is tonight at 7 o'clock, be excited about getting on stage and doing that. So it's I think it's a mindset, of course, but you have to appreciate what you've been so lucky to get the job that you have, and
that's a beautiful way to really look at it. I look at things the same way. You have to be. Life is short, as we've seen this year with all the things that have gone on. And when we are blessed to do work that we love and we're able to touch people's lives and grow as people, it's really an extraordinary thing. It's a really cool thing too, because then that also inspires, like we see comments here, and I get comments like this all the time on the show too. Sometimes the work that somebody like me, somebody like you, and others that do different things like this can really cause other people to maybe come out of the shadows and finally pursue things in their life that they thought that they weren't going to be able to pursue. Sure. It gives them sort of the inspiration to go out and start painting again, or maybe start singing, or write that book, or whatever it is. And that's a cool thing, knowing that, you know, there's that opportunity to inspire people and young minds too, others who maybe are young talent coming up, who are looking, you know, at all the rest of us in our respective fields, saying, gee, I wonder if I could do that too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's it. And you know, and to be able to say, look, you know, I'm not sure your background, Jim, and you're grown up, but I was a nerd who was an accountant who you know, was grand at exams, was able to do exams and did that and the other. But, you know, then just things just changed, and then I became a singer, and you know, I was able to do that, and it just I think the thing is, I don't know that, you know, your life is mapped out for you. I think it's just, you got to take the opportunities when you get them, and who knows where it'll end up, you know.
What are some of the things, the crazy things that have happened on some of the Celtic Thunder tours, like backstage stuff, buses breaking down, or different things that have happened that people don't know about? Because, you know, one of the things, I just had this conversation with one of the guests last night, Jack O'Halloran, legendary actor. He lives in California. He was a former heavyweight boxer, but also went into acting, and he was in Superman 2, King Kong, all these good movies. And we were talking about how sometimes, you know, we all work in our respective fields to try to make everything look so smooth and effortless and easy and almost perfect. And so the audience, the fans, the viewers, the listeners, the consumers of our product don't know all the chaos and the craziness and all the last minute stuff and all the things that went wrong and all the stuff that could have happened leading up to, hey, here we are, welcome. You know, even with this show, there's so many things that can happen that can go wrong. So talk about a little bit how, you know, maybe there are sometimes these little crazy things that do go on behind the scenes, but you guys know how to pull it all together, you know, in the end, and get that concert going.
I think that's, I mean, it's probably, as you say, that people don't realize that behind the scenes, at any minute, you're one mistake away from disaster, and that's really, and you have to just live on this. You know, you're going to see your pants basically from start to finish. You know, I told the story, and I think a lot of the Celtic Thunder fans and the arcade fans would know this, but maybe for maybe some people who are not familiar with myself or what we do, we were I think, and maybe explains the story, explains that whole phenomenon maybe as well as everything, is that we were doing a shoot for we did a show called Storm, which was a sort of a period drama of you know, Phil Coulter from Ireland had written these original songs for the show, and it was based in this sort of mythological land, I guess, and there was different camps within the land, and I was part of I was cast as a gypsy king in my land, with my band of gypsies, and we used to get into the village and we used to steal stuff and do all that. To sort of, it was a bit of a Robin Hood thing going on. But anyway, so I was dressed as this gypsy warrior, I guess. But Sharon Brown, our producer, was never happy with the wardrobe people that got these trousers for me. She was never happy with the trousers. That didn't seem to be the right trousers.
Kelly says Sharon's pants.
Yeah, I think she people are getting to the end of the story before I even say it, but it is true.
He says it. Wow.
People know the story, but it's just an explanation to see how you live on the seat of your pants, I suppose. This whole thing, in that, just before we were about to go on stage to do the filming of the show, I was our wardrobe girl came and she produced these replacement trousers for me to put on, and so I took off the trousers as I these ones I was wearing, put on these new ones, and went out and did the show. These ones were perfect, and they fit really well, and they seemed to be the perfect shape and fine. We went out and did the show, and got filmed. This is up in Canada, and it wasn't until after we had the after show party, and it turned out I was told Sharon Brown, our producer, who you know, Jim, and a lot of the people know there, she had decided that the trousers I was wearing were not the trousers that we needed, and no one could find these trousers that she was thinking of in her head. But then she looked down and she realized the trousers she was wearing were the trousers that would have worked. So she went behind the scenes and took off her own trousers and gave them to the wardrobe girl. And so it turns out that I was wearing my producer's trousers in the show that night. And I didn't know anything about that. And I think it just explains how we live on this like knife edge, and whatever makes the show work makes the show work. And that's often what happens.
Sharon's got you guys covered from top to bottom.
Literally, quite literally.
That's it. The show must go on, right?
The show must go on. I've often reminded Sharon of that and said, yeah, look, thank you for giving me your, not quite the shirt off your back, but the trousers off your bum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. They all know it. Rolling on the floor, my favorite story. Such a great story.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Barbara. The Irish, we have that quick wit, don't we, Ryan? And we're storytellers. We love.
That's just in our nature, really, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You ever have a situation where, the bus breaks down or anything, where you almost didn't get to the venue because of a snowstorm, or probably a lot of that, right?
It's often, yeah. I mean, because like you do, as people know it, in the tour buses, and we have our bunks that are here, but we often call them the coffins because they're just basically small. You zip your curtain closed at night, and you're just in this wee area. But sometimes then in the middle of the night, you'll wake up because someone's banging your curtain saying, "Here, we gotta get out. Something has happened." And yeah, it's been that where you've been. And so, I mean, I feel so sorry for our amazing tour bus drivers who drive through the night, often through amazing storms, and it's been the case where we've had to stop because we just can't go any further. And yeah, one day, and we had to get out. Everyone had to get out and start digging our way out of the snow if we could get there. We ended up not. We ended up getting. I think we had to stop in Wichita, Kansas, because we didn't get as far as the gig. But yes, the North American winters can be pretty harsh, as because here's us coming from Ireland, where our harsh winter is if there's 2 inches of snow, the country shuts down because we can't handle it. But we get to North America where if there's 8 inches of snow, usually get through, but there's some places where
keep it going, clear the roads, right?
So we've experienced it. I mean, it wasn't until I started going turn that I realized what weather actually was. And I realized that we've got a lot of gray here, but everywhere else, whether it be, the north of Canada where there's a lot of snow and ice, or it's the south of America where it's extremely hot, or Australia where it's extremely hot and it's got so many different weather patterns. We have got very little here. It's just, a lot of rain. I think that's all we do in Ireland.
Exactly. They got two hurricanes heading towards New Orleans and Houston, Texas right now. 2 of them right now. One, and then one right behind it. I've never heard of that. I think it's the first time since they've kept records that they have 2 hurricanes coming up from the Caribbean going towards the southern United States, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama. God bless anybody that's watching.
I know. Is there anything else 2020 will throw at us? I don't know. It's just.
Hear
what it is. I swear, I'm so.
That's what it is. There's this wonderful shot that we have here of you and your buddy. Tell us about Larry.
Larry Kelly. Well, how it all began was as a lot of people know, and you know yourself, Jim, when you're on tour, there's a bit of downtime during the day on days off, I suppose, where you're you maybe so we'll play maybe 4 shows in a row, and then we'll have a hotel on the day off, because those days, on the road, you'll be in the bus driving to the next venue. And so on a day off, you have a hotel and wherever it may be, and it's a day just to sort of relax and do that. But I can't sort of lie in the hotel for too long. There's usually a time. I always pray that the hotel, our days off are usually Sundays or Mondays, so that there's Monday night football on, or it's Sunday football all day, so I can watch a lot of football. But if it's Mondays, which a lot of time it is, the Monday night football is not it's usually about 8 o'clock or so. So during the day, I go for a run in the morning, and then I might go and look at the local mall or something. And often I would go to the mall, and there'd be pet stores, and I would just go in there just to look at the pets and see these different pets. And anyway, one day, I can't remember where we were, but I saw this pet store, and there was these Boston Terriers. I'd never saw a Boston Terrier in my life. I didn't even know Boston Terriers existed back then. And I just fell in love with these Boston Terriers, and these are the most amazing dogs in the world. So I've always been an animal lover anyway, since I was a child. Every weekend I used to go to a local market, and I would plague my mum and dad. I used to come home with hamsters and terrapins and anything I could get. But anyway, I came home from tour that year and said, God, I would love a Boston Terrier. So I looked in online and stuff, and it turns out there was a breeder up in the north of Ireland who had a Boston Terrier for sale. So I went up, and with my mum and dad, got arrested. My dad was still alive then, and I found Larry, and so Larry, I always said, because he's a Boston Terrier, I'm a big Boston Celtics fan, as a lot of people know.
Go on, yeah.
So I said for him to be a Boston Terrier, back when I started supporting the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird, 86, 87.
Oh, yeah, one of the best. And a gentleman, too, a class act. He didn't get into all the chaos. He just played ball and did his thing.
Yeah, and he was my GOAT. He was my greatest of all time. So I said
Did you ever meet him? Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
Unfortunately not. That would be my dream. Between him and Peyton Manning, I think if I met either Peyton Manning or Larry Bird, I probably would collapse. I think so. Yeah. But anyway, so I said.
So Larry and Peyton, if you're listening.
Yes, and I'm sure they're watching. But I said, so if I get a Boston Terrier, I'm going to call him Larry. So Larry Kelly is my Boston Terrier. I thought I heard his steps, but no, he's upstairs lying in bed. But so he has become, to be fair, and so ever since I got him, I sort of in this age of social media, of course, I took photographs with him and stuff, and he has become much more famous and loved than I will ever be, but I'm okay with that, because
some are saying I think Larry rules the Kelly household. He really runs the ship, not you or anybody else.
I live in his house. He doesn't live in mine.
So, like you're saying, so Larry's named after
Larry Bird. So he's Larry Bird Kelly.
That's unbelievable. What a great testament to a tremendous athlete. You mentioned also, Ryan, and this might be something that only maybe super diehard fans know, might be something that we're revealing for the first time, is I love photography, and I've been doing photos for years, but it's cool to know, and again, something we haven't really had a chance to talk about on our interactions in the TV studio, because it's, it's something that's uniquely you. It's not necessarily a Celtic Thunder thing or a Byrne and Kelly thing or anything. It's your photography and your love of photography. And you actually have this book, photos of your travels, life on the road. Tell us about this. This might be a side of you, Ryan, that I think is cool as a fellow photographer like you. They might not know you do this. When did you start doing this, Ryan? It's very cool.
Well, I still don't even know if I call myself a photographer. I swear to God, it was almost a thing, I suppose, because I've been a runner and getting into, there's nothing better, because yourself, you travel across these beautiful worlds and countries. You get off the bus in the morning, and I think the first thing I want to do is just get a pair of my trainers on and just get out and explore and just see, where we are, because often if you don't do that, then all you see is the insides of theaters, and I don't want to do that. So that was my thing, was just to get out and run. And but when I'm running, then you get to see these amazing views and stuff. And so it was nothing. I had nothing planned. I just start, often I think it was good as well, because if I'm running for 7, 8, 9 miles, it's a good excuse to take a stop and just take a photograph and pretend it's just because I want to take this photograph, but maybe it is because I'd like to stop and take a break. But I started taking photographs, and then I would post them every day on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And but over the years, people they would comment on them and say, "What an amazing photograph! God, this is, I love seeing, I love, being on tour and traveling around with you effectively, but through your photographs." And so then some people suggested, would you not put all these photographs together, because you compiled them over the last few years, between America, Canada, and Australia, of course, where Celtic Thunder have toured, and Byrne and Kelly have toured as well, and from home as well. And so it made me think. I thought, God, even look, if no one buys this book, even for my own self, just as a record of some of the places I've toured. Even, I mean, you put up that's the front page, or sorry, the front cover.
Yeah.
And that's I was lucky enough, as part, with Celtic Thunder, I was talking to Mark Jones, who is one of our tour managers, about charity work, and we were able to go to Nepal. And I went to Nepal, and I was running in Nepal, because again, I just when I no matter where I am, I go, God, I wonder, could I run here today and just get up and run? And I went, and we were staying much further away from there, probably 4 or 5 miles away from there. And then I'm just in the middle of nowhere, and this lady and her daughter were there, and I went up to them and I said, look, is it okay if I take a photo? And they were very happy to do that. And then they got they saw my iPhone, and they were looking at the iPhone, and she was playing with the iPhone and stuff like that. And it was just, it caught a moment in time of my life. And then, but when I thought about this, I thought, God, I'd love to just put this together as just a record of my last, 10 years, whatever it may be. And so, yeah, and so I put it out there and said, look, if I sell 1 copy or no copies, it doesn't matter. I sell 1 million copies, it's okay. It's just about, as I say, as the title says, my life on the road, and photos of my travels. But the reaction has been amazing, and anyone who has it, I've come back and said that they really love it, and it's just a nice. What I want it to be is, almost like a conversation starter for someone has it sitting on their coffee table, just to go through. Oh God, it's Nepal, it's Saskatchewan, it's
What was that like? Constant asks. I'd love to hear more about Nepal, that excursion. What was that like?
It was it was incredible. I'm trying to think of the right words to describe it. It was amazing to see the charity work that is being done there. It was tough to see the situations that people are living in. Incredible to see how effective charity work can be, and how contributing to charities can make such a difference to people's lives. The same, I went to Uganda as well, and I got to see that as well. And it's incredible, because I think in this day and age, maybe, and I was probably guilty of it too, sometimes we think that, oh, you give money to charities, is it really making a difference? And then you see how much a difference it makes to people's lives. And it makes you very thankful for what we have in the Western world. And it also makes you realize just what charity can do. And I think that was the important thing for me. And obviously being, chosen because of my connection with Celtic Thunder, again, I was thankful the fact that I got to do that, and I'll always, I came in contact with the two charities, that with Uganda and Nepal, and also, as you mentioned earlier, with the photo book, because of the Macmillan Cancer Society charity here, because of the connection with my dad, and just, I think, sometimes we get, sometimes you hear people say that sort of like, do charities really make a difference, and they get a wee bit, neglectful about charities, and I think the right charities can make such a difference, and that's why I wanted to promote those charities, and I'm so proud of the fact with the book, and with my fan club as well, that Macmillan Cancer Society, it's helped because of that. I'm so proud because I think my dad would be so proud of the fact that his name is being associated with that charity still, and the people who are so generous in buying the book or being part of the fan club contribute to that, of course,
Absolutely. Constance is happy that I asked that question and that you answered it for her, which is wonderful. And and Julie already has it there. You can order the book on the RyanKellyMusic.com site.
Mm-hmm.
She's got your back. Sharon's got your bottom. Julie's got your back.
There you go.
It's just teamwork, isn't it? This is teamwork. Getting so many comments. People are loving this conversation. I mean, it warms my heart doing the kind of work I do as a television host, presenter, radio as well. And the people are being moved by this, and they're seeing aspects of you that maybe they don't normally see. Ryan's such a caring, humble person. What a wonderful inspiration to others as well. How do you feel when you hear some of that feedback from folks who support your work and the efforts and your talent as well? It must make you feel really good. It's not why you do it, but it's the residual of the incredible work, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's so humbling, I swear to God, and it's I'm so thankful, and it is, as you said, I've never looked for recognition for anything that I do, but
Me too. Same thing, yeah.
It's lovely to hear it, but I know that look, there's nothing either of us would do if it wasn't for the guys who are making comments tonight, and the guys across that who are doing that, and that's the reason why we do it, and that's I have to try and get that across all the time, because there would be no point us doing this or doing any of this if it wasn't for people to appreciate it, and people to get something out of it. And I always say it's a two-way thing.
It is, right.
About the likes of this, the likes of our stages, the likes of my fan club videos every week. It's just, I get as much out of it as the people who are watching get out of it, and
that's a wonderful relationship. It's a total full circle relationship, isn't it? I mean, you're getting the energy and passion, and they're experiencing it together. That's what it's all about, because a lot of things in life are so one-sided. It's either yin or yang. But when you have these relationships where everybody benefits and everybody's left feeling really good and happy and better maybe than when they first showed up.
Sure. You know, I think it's unique in this day and age that you know, I think these communities that we have, I'm not saying we've set them up, they've fallen into place, I would say more than that. But it's unique, and we're lucky that we have them, and we're lucky to be part of them, you know. And I'm lucky to be part of them as much as anyone tuning tonight is lucky to be part of it. And I think we appreciate that. I think we have to accept that, and especially maybe, you know, maybe 2020, the year of 2020 is a, you know, is a sort of a time for us to go and recognize that and go, God, you know, maybe, you know, yeah.
I've said that a couple of times, actually, to some of the guests on this show and to my fabulous audience. And this is a wonderful marriage we've got going on here between these comments between the viewers around the world who have been watching and following this show, the Jim Masters Show Live, and then your fans that they're all sort of mingling and talking to each other. And I think that's a beautiful thing that I'm seeing in the comments, and all of the followers and fans and supporters of what you do and what I do are melding, which is beautiful. And I think exactly what you said, Ryan. I said that there's a couple of things that probably happened, maybe, is that planet Earth, Mother Nature, and the divine came together and said, you know what? We gave you this beautiful planet. We gave you life. We gave you all of these bounties, and you're fouling it up. There's all this yelling and screaming and fighting and violence and divisiveness, arguments. Everything is extreme on this side or extreme on that side. Nobody's listening. Nobody's showing empathy or kindness or caring. Yeah. And everybody was saying, you know, before this all happened, you know, where's all the kind people? Where's all the empathetic people? Where's the friendly people? And I think maybe those three energies, divine, planet Earth, and Mother Nature, came together and said, stop. We've given you snowstorms and tornadoes and other things, and it's not working. We're going to give you some big things to handle. And let's see if you guys, the world, humanity, come together and maybe rise out of these ashes more loving, more empathetic, listening to each other. If we don't agree, at least let's come to the table. Let's try to work it out, because people now don't even listen. And I'm hoping, Ryan, that, and I've said this on the air multiple times, and even in conversation with friends and family and colleagues, that I hope that we don't return to normal, because I think it was getting a little abnormal. Maybe we reach out and it's a better situation. We come out of all of this better. That would be really cool, wouldn't it?
You know, I've heard people say maybe this is like a reboot. Do you know what I mean? And maybe,
reset. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. You know, and if we become a better Earth because of this, then maybe it's worth you know, a bit of sacrifice for this year, whatever it is. You know, and
we treat each other. Yeah.
I'm all for that. Look, if we come out better people and come out a better community because of this, then that's. I mean, and look, there's always going to be a segment of the community who are not going to follow that, but that's just nature. But exactly. if the rest of us can come out and be better people on the other side, then I'm all for that.
That's what it's about. Now, I have a special announcement for our faithful who are watching all around the world. And we thank everybody who might be up in the wee hours of the evening. And do you need to refill that at all? Or?
It's okay. It's 10 to 2 is going. I need a bit of Jameson to keep me going.
Got to get that Jameson in there. You are going to play for us too, as well, right? What do you have lined up there?
Well, you know, I didn't know what I was going to play, but as our conversation has gone on tonight, I thought about it and thought, one of the songs I wrote for my album Life was, I guess, was about that where I think it probably makes more sense now than ever before. It's a song. It's a song I wrote about, you know, feeling down or worthless, or as if things just don't make sense anymore. and maybe it's it's encouragement to say, look past that, and it's a song called Your Time, and I hope it sort of makes sense now more than ever before. So that's one of my own songs. I thought I'll do that right now. This is called Your Time. Do you ever think about running away? Do you ever feel it just wasn't your day? Or your week, or your month, or your year, your life? Do you ever wish you could empty your head, block the light out and stay there in bed? Turn your phone off and lock down of life and be free. So take my hand, let's together take a stand. 'Cause now I know it's your time. It's your time. Start your climb into the sun. So remember just how far you've come, where you were when you needed to run. Now you're going where you wanted to be for a while. Though your journey has yet to conclude, and your path has been misunderstood, keep your balance on this winding road when you're home. I'll be there too, every step I'll make with you. And we both know it's your time. It's your time. Start your climb into the sun. It's your time. It's your time. Start your climb into the sun. Into the sun. Into the sun. Into the sun.
Really nice, really nice. That's a beautiful song. That really is. Yeah. Wow. What was the source of inspiration for that one, my friend, when you wrote that? Beautiful words and a lot of great comments to that effect coming in. Yeah.
Well, you know, John, I wrote that 2012. A lot of people with fans would know this, but I fell downstairs and I ended up in a coma.
Yeah, I know.
For 3 weeks, and it was touch and go, and I came out of it, thank God, and I came back, and it sort of changed me, and it changed my thoughts on a lot of things, and I wrote the album Life after that. A lot of the songs that sort of was that a bit of vibe about them of sort of thinking about, I suppose it made me sort of like think about my life a lot more, and just sort of like consider why things could be different. And I guess, come out of something as sort of like as life changing as that. My mind wasn't, good days and bad days, as so many people have, and that's what that song's about. It's just about, you know we all have days, you think about running away, and you think about, it's not your day, and you just want to close up, turn off your phone, just pull it duvet over your head.
I remember that when we heard the news here in the States about, the accident, and that it was touch and go and it was serious, and everybody was, I would think the two things that I remember that were big like that, within all of us here in the States, but also within public television, because of the relationship between Celtic Thunder all these years and all of you guys,
Sure.
was the passing of George,
Mhm.
and then your accident and what you were going through, obviously being in the coma. Everybody sort of like the hearts sort of skipped a beat, all of us. And so you had so many people rallying around you and praying, and those things are sometimes that, the passing of your dad. I mean, these are monumental things in life that have us pause and stop to slow down a bit, and reassess, and to, not that we didn't appreciate things before, we do, but we come out of these things different. It's all wisdom. We become wiser, and we become, these sources of inspiration become more noticeable in our lives. That event for you, obviously, and thank the Lord, and all the prayers and the doctors and everybody that you're here with us, and you're in good shape and everything's okay. But there's no way, like you say, you don't come out of a major thing like that with a different perspective on life, and change to a degree. How did it change, Ryan, before and after in any ways, and maybe might have even enriched a few things in a beautiful way for you as a result? Because sometimes from tragic events, beautiful things grow out of it as well.
Yeah, exactly right, Jim. I think it's sort of, again, like we were just talking earlier about what 2020 is, and maybe that's a reset button. I guess 2012 to me was a quite the reset button as well. In that, and it made me value my life. It made me value my family, my career, the fans, and the love that was. I mean, it wasn't, obviously I was oblivious to it all when I was lying in the coma and didn't know what was going on. But coming out of that, and just reading how these prayer groups have been set up, that just the messages of love, and people being so concerned about me, and my health and stuff. It just gives you a whole new perspective on life, and that's exactly what it was. And I think that's what the album sort of became. It was this sort of thing. I need to write this album because I have a whole new perspective on life now, and I think that's what that song there, exemplifies. Was that me sort of thinking, I realized the community that we have around us, and that, even in the course of that song is saying, it's your time. So you're saying to somebody like, I know you're feeling down. I know you can let stuff get on top of you, but look, here's a hand. We'll pull you. I'll pull you out of this. We will pull you out of this. And maybe if you believe there's a greater power, we'll pull you out of this as well. And I think that's what that whole period taught me. And I hope I'm a better person for it. I think I probably am. So it was, yeah, it was, and don't get me wrong, it was a very tough time for my family, for my friends, for all of you, a lot of you who are tuning in and talking tonight, because as I say, I was oblivious to it all, lying there in a coma, not knowing what was going on, but everyone knew what was happening, and thankful to come out the other side, so it was.
So you felt the prayers and the love and support that people were thrusting your way, huh, Ryan?
Big time, for a lot of years after that, when I've met people at shows and stuff, and they would say, "I pray for you so much," and you can't express how grateful you are for that, and it was just, again, it was one of those things that sort of, I'll always look back on that and go, God, I mean, we're talking 8 years now, and it feels like, because it's still so real, but thank God, it wasn't my time, as the song says,
And that's what people are saying. They're saying that as well. Did it change at all your music? Did it change at all, what your output, what you want, the messages, the feelings even more deeply in your craft post that event?
And I think, it's something I never thought about, but when you say that, I think it definitely did. I think it may be much more of an adult than ever before, and I think that changes your perspective on music as well. And maybe before I was riding the wave, but I think probably after 2012, I was more. I think I was more thoughtful and in my music and what I did, and I know in my songwriting, it certainly changed my thoughts about that and the subjects I was writing about, and that's continued with Byrne and Kelly as well as just my own solo stuff. In that, I think I'm much more. I don't know what the right word is to say. I guess I think. For me, if I'm putting my name to a song, whether it be my own songs or with Byrne and Kelly's, I have to believe in the subject that it is, and I think it's made me much more in that regard. Just sort of like, there has to be a message. I mean, I don't mean every message in a song has to be positive or whatever, but there just has to be something that gets me, and I think that may have changed since 2012. I think that could have been quite possibly what came out of that,
Absolutely. A couple people several people are asking, do you have another song you want to share with us? Something that comes to mind?
Yeah.
And you got a beautiful candle. It's funny, you got the candles, I got the candles.
Your candle, yeah. I often.
We got the drink. I mean, we got people are loving the conversation. I tell you,
we're mirroring a lot of stuff here. The thing about it, which a lot of my people, which ties in what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's that back in when I did fall down the stairs that time and I ended up in the coma, I lost my sense of smell.
Did you really?
So I've never been able to smell since, but I was always a fan of scented candles and stuff in my house. So I still burn them, even though I have no idea what they smell of. But I still burn them because I still love the atmosphere they have.
Me too.
Yeah. So it does nothing for me, but I still like it burning. So but yeah, so the candles are always a big thing still in my house. They really are. But regards to songs, let me see.
Does that mean you're going to play "Candle in the Wind"? Or
I like what you did there. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I just thought this would be a good opportunity for maybe, a lot of people have seen me play a lot of Celtic Thunder songs and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, maybe some of my own stuff, and going way back. I was talking earlier about us being in the group Emergency Access back in the day when I was an accountant and playing gigs at the weekends. And myself and the guy, Kieran Rocco, we wrote the song back in the early days of Emergency Exit, and it actually was on my first album. And it's a song that I still like to go back to, and it's a song called In Too Deep, and it was a song about sort of getting yourself into something in a relationship that you shouldn't, and you dropped in too deep and you shouldn't be there. And I just thought it'd be a nice song.
So I'll give you I've introed you on stage multiple times and on television in America. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, the one we love. It's a lot of levity tonight on the Jim Masters Show live all across the world. I give you the one and only, the incomparable, Ryan Kelly. There you go. A Jim Masters intro.
Saw you, met you, found you, touched you, held you, loved you. I was only dreaming in my sleep. I was only dreaming. Now I'm into I ignored you, I upset you, now I can't sleep. I still want you, I still need you, now I feel weak. I was only dreaming in my sleep. I was only dreaming down into deep. I'll play guitar again. Tell the bell around, and I find myself again. Even if I have to pretend I was in too deep. It's over now. Could have been, never be, yeah. So I'll move on, I'll find a new song, I'll find a new me. Play guitar again, till the big ring. I'll find myself again, even if I have to pretend I was in too deep. I was in too deep, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was in too deep, yeah, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Another great one, another great one. What was again the inspiration for that one? Because that really,
Thank you. I know it was yeah. We recorded together. It was just this idea came to us about someone who was like in something that they thought they wanted, but then they realized, God, we're in trouble, and it's just that in too deep, that idea of being in too deep, but something that they thought they needed.
I'm feeling so blessed. Thank you, Jim and Ryan. I mean, wonderful way to spend a Sunday night. I mean, we're getting some really beautiful comments from so many people from around the world who are really touched by all of this, which I think is fantastic. I mean, they're doing even standing ovations as the best as they can with their emojis. Ryan, thanks for staying up so late for this awesome interview. And thank you, Jim, for having Ryan on. Great interview. Thank you very much. Not just a wonderful interview, but music too. Absolutely, absolutely. The best for all of our audience and our viewers as well. What continues to bring you some of the greatest blessings and joy in your life, Ryan, to continue on pursuing what you love to do in such a beautiful way through the work with Celtic Thunder, Byrne and Kelly, and the photography, and just the individual things that you do as you continue to want to touch the world. I'm very in tune with what you do. And so I love asking that question because sometimes what I hear back mirrors what I'm thinking too.
Well, I mean, Jim, simply what you've those comments you're reading out, you know what I mean? That's what inspires me. That's what keeps me going. That's what makes, it's not that what I need to keep doing what I'm doing, but when it gets just lovely comments like that, and I know they're from the heart, and I know people are just, the people are lovely just to say that and take
tune in and
the effort to do that and tune in, as you say, and people could be doing loads of things tonight and or today, whatever. It's tonight for me. It's today for a lot of people. But they took the time to tune in, and as they do weekly to my video, or if they come to a show or whatever it is, that's what inspires me. That's what keeps me wanting to do what I'm doing, and then that's what will drive me as long as people want it. That's what I say. As long as they want it, I will continue to do it. And that's I think it's, you talk about recognition, instant recognition, and I think that's what you get from it. We're in a special place where we're very lucky to get this job and be able to do this, and I'm just happy to do it and happy to play the music, and if it makes a difference to somebody, then it's worth doing.
Is there anything you haven't done yet, Ryan, that you still maybe have on that Ryan Kelly bucket list, something that you would really still want to do, whether it's individually or collaboratively with others? There's still things that you want to do, maybe within music or maybe even outside of the music world.
I don't, I love the writing process. I love, with Neil being able to write her own music and perform her own music. I think there's something very special about that. Or even tonight, I played 2 songs that I've written myself, and there's something very special about that. The fact that a lot of these songs, I'm sitting on my kitchen table here right now, and the vast majority, if not all the songs that I've written have been at this kitchen table. And when here I am getting this singing now across the world, as I do in the fan club as well, and you reach the far reaches of America, Canada, Australia, Europe, South America, wherever it is. There's something very special about that. I think there's something that has started here gets there, and that's been incredible. Playing live gigs and having people sing back to you and hearing them sing back to you, hearing your own songs, it's very special as well. I want to do much more of that. I want to keep writing. I want to keep getting the message out there, and and who knows what the next few years brings. Get back on the road, get the world back in some sort of plateau, and keep going with that. That's what my dream is at the minute. I mean, I appreciate that we're all in a place now where we don't know what the future brings, and it's a very difficult time for people in our industry, Jim. Of course, I mean, but I'm not here to beg money, because I know that there's so many industries and so many people have been affected by this pandemic, and it's not about that at all. And I just want to see the cogs turning again and the whole world moving again. That's what I want to say.
Right, exactly. And all of us coming together, and the creativity still flowing. I think it's very important. We've got some great comments. I mean, tons of comments. Barbara Good, a great interview, always reveals the most beautiful parts of both the interviewer and who he interviews. I have loved this time with both of you. That's beautiful. Thank you, Barbara. We love that you're watching on Jim Masters TV on YouTube, and I encourage welcome everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow night. Great guests. I do this show every single night, Ryan. Isn't that amazing?
I know. Jim, I couldn't stay up to 2 a.m. every night, and I must admit, but I appreciate that you do.
Yeah.
I could do it one night, and that's good, but I appreciate that you do it every night. I mean, that's good. Oh, you're obviously not staying up to 2 a.m. because in your time zone, it's still
20 after 9.
There you go. You've plenty of time left.
That's it. But you know what happens? Because I put so much, because I do all this stuff also professionally in my real world in television and radio and all. And then I created this show 15 weeks ago as an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we do every single night live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And the work that's involved in just doing this, I'm now up to like 3 o'clock in the morning, waking up at like 8 a.m. It's like, I feel like I'm on tour.
I know, yes.
It's like, people are like, they're like, why? Even my colleagues in, television and music and Broadway and Hollywood friends, whatever, they're like, are you serious? You're doing this like every night? How the heck could, you know what it is? You do it because of the love of it. And we were reaching so many people. I love doing this as a host, presenter, and having awesome friends like you on is amazing. Renee in Iowa says, this is a great conversation. Thanks, Ryan and Jim. Thank you. I will tune in again. Great time. Thanks for the new word, lovety.
Lovety, there you go. Yeah.
Everybody's a lovety. Everybody's a lovety. Yeah. Thank you so much to both of you. It's really, really cool stuff. And just want to take another quick look at some of those photos again. Lovety will be our new word around the family table. Right? Absolutely. And again, it was a word I just happened to foul up. I was saying, in the Jim Masters Show Live, it's about light, love, and levity. And I said lovety, and that was it. And new word born, right?
You should trademark that pretty soon.
Everybody has said that. Everybody has said that. Absolutely, absolutely. Cool stuff. Just want to look at a couple of more cool shots here. Of course, that's a great one too. And do you have favorite places that you've performed or places you haven't performed yet, whether it's Celtic Thunder or Byrne and Kelly or you yourself, that you'd love to go to, Ryan?
Well, that was St. Charles, Missouri. We did I was with Byrne and Kelly. We did the 4th of July festival, and there's something very special. I mean, we talked about. I was saying about. I've got a calendar, up on my wall here in my kitchen, and at the start of the year, I put in all our dates and where we'd be playing and stuff, and I walk past it every morning going, oh God, we would have been like next weekend we were going to be in Lake Tahoe for our Byrne and Kelly retreat, and you're thinking that's where we should have been. The Kansas City Irish Festival It's going to be next weekend and stuff. And there's these so many amazing places that we should have been playing. Look, this year we just can't, and obviously that's just the way it is. But there have been so many amazing places, you know, over the years. I swear. I mean, we spoke earlier. Of course, I suppose one of my standouts would be Radio City Music Hall, because it was just one of the most iconic places in the world that anyone gets to play, and the fact so early on in our Celtic Thunder days we got to play there was just a pretty incredible. But I mean, look, I mean, there's so many, the Fox theaters in Detroit, in Missouri, in St. Louis, all those. I mean, it's just, you know, the places in Australia we play up in camp. There's just been so many. I swear, it's hard to say. I think, well, often just you go on stage and go, wow, is this really what's happening? You know.
Exactly right. I mean,
and here we are now. The most you can play is in my kitchen. You know what I mean? Which is where the world has come, I swear. But like, it is what it is, you know.
It's like it's come full circle, right? You've torn
Totally.
all over, and you're back at the kitchen table.
Exactly.
Family and Larry and you're like,
yeah, it's kind of like a. I mean, yeah, like Radio City is a mile away, 1,000 miles away from where I am now. But you're like, you know, I mean, but when you read the comments, when you read what people are saying, we're still enjoying the music, we're still enjoying the crack, and that's what it's about, to get it out there, you know.
That's what everybody's saying too, because you really gotta have laughter, right? You gotta have levity, because sometimes things can get so, you know, crazy that life can really become overwhelming sometimes with all, especially like this year. I mean, how are you? Like, it's a couple of people I interviewed. Cuneo, I don't know if you know Cuneo, Michael Cuneo.
Yeah.
He's a great friend too, and he was on the other night.
Sure.
He of course was with Under the Street Lamp, and interviewed Cuneo many times, and he's got a solo career. Post modern jukebox he's with as well, and Sean Wiley was on a couple of weeks ago too, also from Under the Street Lamp. Again, these are people like you and Damien and Chloe and the others we've just stayed in touch over the years. And Cuneo was expressing, you know, we were having a great interview like this, just, you know, two guys shooting the breeze, talking, that happens to have a worldwide audience watching us. That's the kind of comfortable atmosphere I really like to have. Sometimes, you know, when we've been in the studios together, we haven't had the amount of time like we have now, because we have business we have to conduct and got to get the phones ringing, and there's things you got to do and get those tickets out and those DVDs and tote bags and everything. So it's part of the course there.
Yeah, of course.
But he had said that Cuneo had said that he has been going sort of in and out of like a depression a little bit too, because of being so dependent on the touring and dependent on the energy of the audience, and just being cooped. He's in New York City, so being cooped up in the apartment. You know, he was so excited that we did our interview, because he was able to, you know, just express himself and communicate with the audience and everything. Have you had any of that? Have you had some down moments during all of this? I think all of us have had some strange moments during this particular year as we've watched some of the things that have been going on in our world.
Yeah, sure. I think the key is, Jim, to be positive, and you know, as I said to you earlier, I think I was blessed that I started the fan club back just a few years ago now, and at the start, the RKFC, which has become the sort of community, and it was something that I didn't know. I just test the water and said that people were saying to me, "We'd love to have a fan club," and you know, because there's so much downtime, obviously forced downtime because if we're not touring, but it has grown, and for me it was like it's something that I read letters and comments from fans every day, and I culminated them together to have a video by the end of the week, which started off being, as I said before, trying to be 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and now it's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. But it's a chat, and it gives you a focus. It gives me a sense of, I suppose, just a sense of being, a sense of giving something back, and that has kept me sane. I think it's kept me positive, and kept me thinking that this, how amazing this is the fan club thing, and then what will be when we get back out in the road and do it again. So I think that's what's has sort of kept me positive, I suppose, and sane in that regard. And so I have a lot to be thankful for the fan club and what that's doing. Of course, and the same thing with the stage it next week with next weekend with Neil, Nicole, and Cole, is that playing music again and just doing that again. These wee things, these small things that are opening up, which let us do, obviously not getting on the flights to America, getting to play these gigs, but at least presenting ourselves and playing music to people who want to hear it.
Are you writing songs too as well through all of this, Ryan? Has any of what's going on been inspiring you at all?
I don't know if it's been inspiring us because it's pretty depressing, and I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to hear a COVID song, to be fair, or a song inspired by what has happened 2020.
Right.
It has inspired us to write, in that it's given us downtime to write, and Neil and myself have a lot of stuff going on. We're going to do our show next weekend, and then we're back writing again.
Yeah,
we have a lot of irons in the fire. Excuse me, but at the minute I'm excited about next weekend to get playing and get back out there and doing that, and I know people will tune in for that, because I think people are dying to hear a live Byrne and Kelly show as well, which has been a while, so it's good to do that,
For folks that are watching,
sorry, I'm just gonna say sorry.
Yeah.
We're counting up to the day. It's actually a year since there's been a live Byrne and Kelly show, so that just says it all. Because we went on tour with Celtic Thunder after that, so it's been a long time. So it's about time that we did a show.
It's time to get back out there. For those who have not experienced there's another one. I forgot to show you this one.
Oh,
now, is that not Lovity or what? Right?
That's pretty much our pose for most of the week, I swear.
Yeah.
If I brought my laptop upstairs to my bed, that would be exact the pose of him at the minute he'd be lying sleeping. He does love to sing.
That was. I was going to say, for those who haven't, I'm sure many people have experienced a Celtic Thunder concert, and again, if they haven't, then obviously go out and when they're performing again in 2021, check them out. But a Byrne and Kelly concert event, what is that like for folks who haven't had a chance to experience the two of you together?
Well, I mean, we often say, I suppose, the reason we got together on our premise behind doing it was that it was going to be an intimate gig, because Neil and myself, that's what we were always, before Celtic Thunder, of course, which is a big stage show with lights, a band, an orchestra, whatever it may be. When Neil and myself were playing, first of all, it was much more intimate, and we thought that that's what we want to get back together, and so that's what a Byrne and Kelly gig is. And it's us playing songs we love, whether we've written them or we've chosen them for the show. And yeah, we enjoy it. We tell stories, and if you fancy it, tune in next weekend, because I think it'll give you an idea of what we're about, I think,
Yeah. You guys always have a good time together. And again, when you look at all of this, Ryan, do you ever? Sometimes I ask the guest when it's something like this. Do you ever pinch yourself? Come a long way, in a wonderful career, and I've had an opportunity to inspire so many people through these various forms of music, through Celtic Thunder, through your solo careers as well, your solo career, but also with Byrne and Kelly and other things that you're working on, including this. I mean, this album, In Time, another, great piece of work that I'm sure many people have enjoyed, and echoes. A lot of people were talking about this tonight as well. I don't know if you saw the comments, but they love this album with you and Neil as well. But when you look at all of this, do you ever wake up and say, wow, am I living a dream? Is this really what's happening here? You obviously are very humble about it and appreciative of all the joys that it has brought and blessing in your life.
I think, Jim, it's not until nights like this, where and you lay it out in front of me, that I sort of go, my God, that's what I mean, because you don't yourself. I think, and I'm sure you find this yourself in your career. Things are moving so quickly that you don't have time to sit back and think about stuff and think about, God, is that what I forgot about that. That's what happened. That's what happened. And you move with it, and yeah, it is. When you look at these photographs and you look at what you're saying there, and you go, God, we've covered a lot of ground in the last sort of 13 years. With Celtic Thunder, with Byrne and Kelly, with myself, I don't know. Maybe I hope. You know what? There's part of me that doesn't want to sit back and reflect until maybe give me another 5, 6 years, 7 years, and then maybe I'll sit back and I'll reflect on it all. I don't want to stop yet. I want to keep going, and I just want to keep on this train for as long as it goes, because I love what I do. I love the opportunities given me.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful of it. And I want to keep going, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to look back and reflect. I just want to keep going. And then maybe, I hope there's time in the future when I can look back and reflect,
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And it's been so fantastic to be able to do that with you tonight, my friend, here on the show, and hear from so many different folks that watch this show, fans from your club, and it's the merging of everybody. And I'm glad that you're doing well and you're hanging in there through all of this craziness. We all are. We're all in sort of like the same boat, and I hope we all get through this together and continue to create. And I really enjoyed this time with you, Ryan, and you're welcome back anytime you want. And I really hope you enjoyed the time equally.
I did, Jim. It's been an absolute pleasure, I swear. And I mean, I'm looking at the clock now and seeing we've spoken for 2.5 hours, and it feels like I didn't realize that at all, because it was just free flowing, and it was just nice to chat. And there's been so many lovely people on chatting, and thank you so much for your kind comments. And it was just so nice just to chat and just to talk. It's been long. What are we now? 6, 7 months, whatever it is, since lockdown, and that whole thing started, and it's just nice to chat, chat career, and chat with what it's about, and it's been absolute pleasure.
And to catch up too, because you figure when I was showing some of those photos earlier, over the years, I mean, obviously we've worked on a lot of different things together, and we've had a lot of fun with you and the guys. A lot of crack. Damien was funny when he said that. He said, let me explain that for the American audience. What we say is we love crack in Ireland. Because in America, they think of that differently. Good times, happiness,
exactly.
Joy.
I think our Irish American audience know that what our
crack is. CRAIC, not the other one. This is when we were in the studio shooting a national PBS Celtic Thunder special, which is great. We were having a lot of fun behind the scenes, and again with Paul Byram and me, you, and Paul, me, you, and Damien. That was one of the early first years, I think, first few years when.
God, yeah.
And then, of course, with the wonderful George as well. And then this was one of the more recent when you guys were on that 72 city tour, and I had emceed for you guys, which was really cool. And take a look at a couple more comments here before we wrap up. Jen is Zen, so that's really good. We've got her in a Zen mode.
That's
yeah. To the crack. Slunch. That's right. That's fantastic. And fantastic chat. Please continue to be safe. And
sure.
Thank you, Jim and Ryan, for a great show. Fantastic chat. Both you, please continue to be safe. Francis is way to go, Ryan. Another great show, Jim. Thank you for all your efforts in putting this together. It is our pleasure. They have been true God's blessing to all us fans. They've helped me through a lot of hard times with the music and humor. I can't thank them enough. Wonderful interview. Thank you for explaining. She wrote Craig, but she means the crack. Thank you for explaining it. Yeah, just so you know, we don't want any headlines that.
Correct. That's my other correct.
Even if we don't explain it, and then there's headlines in the papers all across America tomorrow. Jim Masters and Ryan Kelly endorse crack.
To be fair, Jim, it would be
National Enquirer.
Well, it'd be a short day for news across America if we made the front pages
talking about that. Thanks, Jim and Ryan, for a great evening. Thanks, Jim and Ryan. Lovely show. RKFC Forever. Sleep well. As well as Grunchy Hugs.
Okay. Hey, Barbara's, but she does this thing about that there's hugs that they do, and it's something to do with her elbow and her shoulder. I'm not quite sure how it works.
How that works. Kim says, what a brilliant night this has been. She's watching on the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You've met Marsha Lyon. You've met her at Connecticut Public Television many times.
Yeah.
She would always answer the phones, take the pledges.
Of course,
there. Yeah. Love and hugs to you both. Thank you for a lovely evening sharing and spending your time with us. She's now in Massachusetts. She moved up to Massachusetts.
Oh, cool.
Renee in Iowa. Thanks again, Ryan. It was great getting to know you. Merlin in Canada. Stay safe. Take care. Jennifer, these are some of our great viewers. Ryan, thank you so much. I wish you fun, safe, healthy, good, magical, fun journeys. Luncha. Which is really, again, the two audiences here merging, the viewers of this and your fans. There's a lot of levity happening between them all, which is great. Paula says, thank you, Jim and Ryan. Love the show. Looking forward to Neil, of course, being on the show. And is there anything that the audience needs to know about Neil in advance? Any secrets?
I may have to email you some stuff, but I can't be shared on this.
It's going to be wonderful to catch up with him too.
Well, I'll talk to him next weekend because we're doing the stage it, and then I'll see what stories he can buy off me. I'll say, like, if I tell Jim how much does it cost you to keep them a secret, and then we'll see.
Negotiate a deal. You might, have a few bucks out of this, right?
Yeah. This is pandemic times, Jim. We have to try and make money somehow. You
gotta. That's right. You gotta. Thank you both for this, Jim and Ryan. Thanks, guys. Wonderful chat. Hugs from Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Yeah. Beautiful Argentina. Crack. So enjoyed this time with you two. Thanks. Let's stay well, everyone. Thank you for a great show. That's Cheryl on YouTube. Great show, Jim and Ryan. Lots of smiles. Rhonda Murphy. Valerie Porter was watching and commented as well. Hopes to see you back in LA, she said. Really enjoying this evening. Thank you, Jim and Ryan. We even got the Shamrocks there, which is very, very cool. Let's see. Just a few more here. We've got... thank you so much, Jim and Ryan, for the great Sunday evening, or in his case, Monday morning.
It's virtually Monday afternoon at this stage. But
Wonderful interview, Jim. Get plenty of rest, Ryan. Sleep in. What do you have going on tomorrow? Can you sleep in a little bit tomorrow?
I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow. Well, no, because I'm going down to Neil and Nicole for rehearsals on Tuesday. So I have to rehearse tomorrow, and then I'm rehearsing for the stage it for next Saturday. So but it'll be fine. It'll be all good. It'll be all good. Yeah.
You guys.
I enjoyed this night. It was great. It was great. It was a lovely release. Just 6 songs and have fun and yeah.
And catch up. We've known each other for so many years. You guys get us through these times. Who gets you through these days? That's a good question.
Well, you know, I mean, and this, I'm not just saying this for sake, but I swear, this gets me through these days. You know, the response, and I said the same with the fan club, is, you know, us putting this out there, and get the response and people saying, thank God for what you're doing, but that gets me through it as much as, and that's the reason. That's the reason why we do it. Like, I've said it so many times, and a lot. I'm sure people go, you know, he's just saying that, but it's actually the truth. It's the actual truth, I suppose.
That's really, after this awesome night with Ryan, can't wait to see Neil next week. And Ryan, sorry, now you have to share this fan with Jim.
Barbara's come your fan as well now.
Awesome.
I know. Can I show you? It's okay, Jim. I will share.
And I should say, what time Neil going to be on? Stage starts at 7 Eastern, right? Is that Saturday?
Is it Saturday? Son, I'm not sure. Which one?
You're doing a stage it, right?
Oh, stage it. Yes.
That's Saturday.
Yes, it's Saturday, and it's 12. It's midnight again for us.
Yeah, midnight for you guys.
Suddenly, so that would be.
And then he's on with me 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night, which is midnight your time. Next Sunday, that'll be 7 p.m. Eastern.
We'll try not to drink too much Jameson after our show on Saturday night.
No, you're supposed to drink it during.
We know what I mean.
Saturday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you get into your show, it'll be fine.
Where are we, Jim? Is it Jim or Tim? I've known you all these years. Don't you remember, Neil? It's Jim.
It'd be a better show. It could be a better show.
That's right. Thank you. Great interview. Questions, responses. Stay safe. That's great too. Thanks, gents. Lovely time. Be safe. Stay well and sleep tight. We sure will. Does Larry sleep in the bed with you? Does he warm up the bed?
Yeah. Well, I sleep in his bed, to be fair, because he dominates the bed. So whatever space he has given me, that's where I sleep, basically.
Whatever he decides how much space you get.
Exactly.
And the blanket. Barbara says it will take hours for Neil's stories.
What did you say, Barbara?
That's Barbara Quinn. Thank you guys for a great interview. Have a great night as well, which is beautiful, and all kinds of hearts and shamrocks and all kinds of good stuff here. We can't wait to enjoy more of your crack, Jim.
Yeah, I got to change.
My mother's in Florida. If she's watching, she's going to say, "Can you explain the crack part?"
Apparently, my son has got a crack podcast.
Yeah, he's got a crack of a show, a brilliant crack of a show, and everybody in Ireland was watching too. Thanks for the interview. Have a good night. Hugs from Ruby, which is great.
Ruby's Rebecca's dog.
Oh, really?
Gorgeous dog. Yeah. So Rebecca came to our one of our retreats, and she brought Ruby, and Ruby's a lovely dog. I'm a big dog lover, as you can imagine, and yeah.
Are you telling me this show's gone to the dogs?
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for a great show. Thanks, Irish 43. Francis says, almost 30 hours awake from me now. Praying I sleep so well. I stayed awake to watch this special. Good night. A couple of great songs in my head. Great Sunday evening from Wendy Anthony, which is beautiful, beautiful. It's funny. Ha, food. What's for dinner, Ryan? I don't know. You probably had his dinner already.
Yeah, I mean, what's for breakfast? More like.
Yeah. Bangers and mash. Or Julie loves the hat. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a hat guy. I have a whole hat collection. I love hats of all kinds, baseball caps, hats. You know it. Thank you, Ryan. You're so gracious. Absolutely.
I've never been a hat man. I must admit. I don't know. I just don't suit hats. But I must get on the Jim. Maybe you can get me a right hat.
You got to get the right kind. You can't just get anything, right?
Yeah, does it make you work?
Some of them I get, from my travels in Europe or, across the country or whatever. One other quick thing we didn't touch upon that would be kind of cool since we're here anyway. You're a big sports fan too, Gaelic football and everything too. Tell us about the athletic side of your life as well. You've really been in tune with sports ever since you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was I grew up, I suppose, where in my village now. This is where I am now, and Gaelic football was the big thing here. As a lot of people would know about Gaelic football or Irish sport. And so I played Gaelic football, I played soccer, I played basketball all my life. And played that. I mean, that's so. I suppose when we always had a hoop at the side of our house because my brother played basketball as well, and which was pretty much unknown here in Ireland that because basketball wasn't a big sport back then. So that's what got my love of basketball. That's got my love of the Boston Celtics, and that's why I became a big Boston Celtics fan. And I played basketball all the way through school and played for my province in basketball. But played football. I was a goalkeeper in football as well, and played soccer and Gaelic. And I always say that Celtic Thunder ruined my football career because once I joined Celtic Thunder, obviously I went to America and I couldn't play football anymore, and someone else had to go and take my place. But I was always a massive sports fan, and then when I went to America, first of all, I fell in love with American football as well as basketball because I've always loved the NBA. So then I loved the NFL as well. So so the one thing about Turn is the fact that I've now become a big NFL fan. Well, American football fan in general. I love the college game as much as I love the NFL game, but I always loved the basketball. So now and this TV, excuse me, behind me, it's American sports all the time. It's on the TV.
You keep the American sports on, huh?
Yeah, I love it. So now I love the fact, as a lot of your listeners will be good, the fact that the NBA championships going on in Orlando and the big pod and the Celtics are still going. They're still there. They've got through to the Eastern Conference semifinal. So we're still there. So
yeah, they came up with that bubble, which seems to be working. Yeah, it seems to be working.
It could be the future of sports for a while. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the NFL is going to work. Who knows? But
Julie asking if I'm a sports fan. Absolutely. Actually, I love baseball. I played baseball through school, and I've always loved baseball. My father has always been a Brooklyn Dodgers fan in New York, and I grew up in New York on Long Island. So born and raised in New York, and so really the New York teams. I love the Celtics. I think they're a terrific team, and always loved Larry Bird. That's a good one to have as sort of like an idol. The New York Mets always have been our favorite because when the Dodgers left New York and they went to Los Angeles, a lot of those fans, when they created the New York Mets, went with the Mets as well. And hockey too. I've always loved. I like all the sports: football, baseball, hockey, tennis. I love tennis. I play a lot of tennis. I do cycling. I'm always in the ocean because we live along the coast here. So I'm always swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, boating. We're always in the ocean. So Yeah, I love sports. I love when
You're an active man.
And you run. You said, I know Damien said he comes from a family of marathoners too.
Yeah. His dad and his brother, they're big marathon runners, like, you know. So I was never a runner until I went on tour, and then it just made sense to run. And no, so that it becomes a bug, and you run, and that's what you do. But no, I love running. But yeah, Damien's dad and his brother are big runners. They're marathon runners and stuff. Now, all I've done a couple of half marathons, but I've never done a full marathon yet. I always said I would do one before I'm 40, and now I'm over 40. I didn't do it. Maybe we'll see. We'll keep going. Who knows?
Now we got everybody saying Phillies and go Braves and go Calgary Flames and to bring
it. We're gonna rise between people here.
Between the levity will disappear quick once you mention the sports, right?
That's what always happens.
Well, Ryan, this really was awesome. You're very cool of you, my friend, to spend this amount of time with us here on the show. And
I swear, I didn't realize how long it was. Do you know what
it feels like what, a half hour? It doesn't feel like, which I think is great. I love that. I love that people say that. They say it all the time. It doesn't feel like we've talked
not at all
for that long, you know?
But here, well, tell you what we'll do. I'll finish with a song if you want me to finish.
Yeah.
If you wanna, say your goodbyes, and then I'll do one more song, if that's okay.
All right, so we'll do the goodbyes with everybody, and thanks for coming, and then I'll come back after we wrap with Ryan, because I'll say a couple of things. I'll tell you some of the great guests we have coming up this week on the Jim Masters Show Live. Amazing guests coming up from music and television and film, stars, so much more, and then we do our wrap up here as well. So Ryan's going to play a song, and then when Ryan plays the song, he'll come back on. We'll say goodbye to Ryan, and we'll wrap up. So once again, the incomparable, our fantastic friend, our worldwide audience watching on the Jim Masters Show, it is the one and only Ryan Kelly.
I wish I was in Carrickfergus, only for nights now in Ballyground. I would swim over the deepest ocean, I love to find. The sea is wide, and I cannot swim over. Neither have I the wings to fly. I wish I could find the deepest ocean. Carry me over, my love and I. Childhood days bring back sad reflections of happy times I spent so long ago. My boyhood days and my own relations all passed on now like the melted snow. So I'll spend my days in endless romance, soft as the grass, my bed is free. Back to be back now in Carrickfergus, on that long road down down to the sea. But in Kilkenny, it is reported on marble stone there as black as ink, with gold and silver I would support her. I'll sing no more now, I get a drink. I'm drunk today, sure I'm seldom sober. I'm also rover from town to town. Oh, but I'm sick now, and I'm seldom sober. Come away, young man, and lay me down.
Really nice, Ryan. I mean, everybody here is loving this. Absolutely. Really beautiful. Tell us about the inspiration for that song, too. That's really nice.
I just thought, I mean, look, I've enjoyed the chat tonight, and Carrick Fergus is probably my favorite Irish song. And
they're saying it's like your signature song.
Yeah, well, it was always, it's a song I learned from my dad. And again, we've talked all night about respect and the love I have for my dad. I remember him playing it for me the first time, and I just fell in love with it. I thought, right, that's the song that. And so, you know, I will write songs for the rest of my life. Who knows? But Carrick Fergus is probably the song I will always associate with him, my dad, and that's the song I will love more than any other song. Do you know? And that's the reason why I love to play it. And I love that mythology with Celtic Thunder. David Monroe said this, there's, he just asked us whether the songs you think could work. I know my first choice is like, I would love to sing Carrick Fergus, and he made it happen. And unbeknown to everything, I ended up falling the stairs. I ended up in a coma before that actual show was released, and we weren't sure whether David went on. He went on, and he produced the song and stuff, but I didn't know that whether I would ever be able to sing it or what happened. And thankfully, thank God that I was able to sing it. So again, another reason for Carrick Fergus being a special song for me. So I guess it's always a song that means a lot to me. So I thought it's been a great chat, so why not finish with that song?
Fantastic way to wrap, and everybody is saying that too. And thanks for doing that. There was a little extra bonus surprise. Porter Girl Books is looking out for us and looking out for you. She says, finish that Jameson now and go to bed, young man.
Yes, Mum, I will. I promise you.
That is very, very funny. Rest well from Indiana, United States. Lots of claps. Good night, Jim and Ryan. Wonderful interview. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, there's been a lot of comments. People are saying that they're going through cancer treatments, and this has made them feel better about the day. Night, sweet dreams. I mean, when you hear stuff like that, it's absolutely beautiful. Thanks to this audience too, our viewers and the fans, and all coming together here, who have been also sharing and opening up so much, so authentically about their lives and about how everything is sort of inspiring and moving them. Here we are talking about opening up about our lives. they're doing it as well. And that is really amazing. They feel so comfortable to do that. That's cool, isn't it, Ryan?
I get that, Jim, and and totally. I get this in the fan club every week as well. The people.
I love when people do this,
and and that's what it's all about. If we can share our bad times and good times together, and I think it's an amazing thing. And if this opportunity makes us do this, the online thing makes it work that we can do this, and we can share the ups and downs, and sing through it, and love the music through it. That's something very special.
That's what it's all about, my friend. That's what it's all about. And again, if anybody wants to see this again, you can do it on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, the full interview. Also the ones with Chloe and Damien, next week, Neil, Paul Byram. But of all the great people we've had on this show, so many incredibly inspiring people that are usually dear friends of mine, or after the interview, we end up becoming great friends, which is amazing. And that's really cool. That's really cool when that happens. Like the pictures that I showed of us through the years, it's you're very welcome, Gladys. And Renee, you're very welcome as well. And Isabel says, Ryan makes the world better. Sherry, Ryan has inspired a beautiful community. We love all of that. And
totally.
And of course, you're welcome back anytime, my friend. And it's so great that we've had this opportunity to really sort of break bread and chat. And, we've known each other all these years, and we've had good conversations and everything too. But this was really something special. And especially at this time, like Mary says here, some of the messages are scrolling so fast, it's hard to even keep up with them. This has been a great evening, cheering me up after a difficult week. Thanks, Jim and Ryan. Love you both. I mean, that stuff really says it all,
I honestly, Jim, I think it's been special what's happened tonight. I swear, and it's, we didn't plan this. We sort of like, it was just having a chat and
let it roll. Yeah.
But let it roll. And here we are 3 hours later, which is been incredible.
And that these people are still here and they're still up, and
it says it all. It says a little bit where we are, I think, in the world at the minute. And it's nice to, as I say myself, if we just have these wee happy moments, that it makes a massive difference. So I'm happy to be part of it.
That's what life is all about. I don't know if your glass is empty, but we'll do a toast once again.
It's actually a little bit left.
Me too, just a little bit. So we'll toast and we'll down it.
Cheers, my friend. Let's do it.
Cheers. All right.
Sláinte.
Sláinte, absolutely. Celebrating our Irish culture. Good stuff, my friend. This was really epic, really brilliant evening. Comments still coming in, but you got to get some sleep and rest well. Yeah, right. I know. And you're welcome back anytime, my friend. I hope we get a chance to, break bread in person again. That would be real cool once we get past all of this. And thanks for the great stories. Thanks for being so open and authentic, for performing, sharing about, your dad and George, and working with the guys over the years, and how much all this has meant to you. It is really a blessing having you on. And I really, really appreciate the time, my friend, and hope you'll come back one of these days again. We don't have to go this long, but, this was really cool.
Oh, Jim, I appreciate that. Look, I've enjoyed it from a moment, I swear to God. As I say, look, we've been here 3 hours and it didn't feel like it at all. And
it's like we're at a pub, right? You're just sitting at a bar, just chatting.
Exactly. I love the fact that the comments have been coming in. People have been enjoying it as well, which is an amazing thing. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk to people and do this and play our songs. So I was happy to do it. I promise you.
My pleasure, my friend. You be well. You stay well. You take care. You keep creating. And
I will.
We will check in again, and you'll get Neil all ready to go.
Yes, and hopefully next time I might have Larry even on as well, if he's not too lazy being upstairs in bed. But
oh yeah, a couple of people said that he's already upstairs waiting for you. He's getting the bed ready for you.
He is the most popular person. So I mean, next, if he even have Larry by himself, he would probably get much more viewers than you would with me. But
With Larry, it always works that right. It's that unconditional love of the animal, of the family member.
yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And God, these comments are unbelievable. Everybody's saying good night, sleep well, good night. We love you all. Marathon interview, absolutely. We are Irish family love, absolutely. We love all that. Jim, this has been watching a conversation with a friend and not an interview. You and Ryan have been great. We'll see you again, Jim, and with Neil. Okay. Mary, thank you very much. Good stuff. And Marcia, thank you as well. And fantastic. All right. There's 100, 150 more, but we'll read those through and you'll be able to see them too in the archives. Ryan, tip of the hat to you, my friend. Again, you be well, and we will talk to you. And
thanks for folks. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the books are available. That book is available. Folks have been asking about that as well. And stay well and keep in touch. All right, my friend?
Oh, well, of course. And thank you. And look, here, we'll get back to normality soon, we hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got it. You take care. And it was a real pleasure having you on, Ryan. Thanks for everything.
Good night, folks. Good night.
Cheers. Bye-bye now. All right. Cool stuff, huh? Neither one of us likes to say goodbye. We're obviously not good goodbye people, but it was really, really cool. And again, all these great comments coming in. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm your host, Jim Masters, and we do this show. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we do every single night of the week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I want to show you quickly some of the great, amazing guests that we have coming up, and then I'll review some of those pictures. Actually, let me review some of the pictures first with Ryan. Again, it was really cool having Ryan on the show. Fantastic friend. I've known him for years. We've had wonderful opportunities to chat in studio on American television, American public television. And I'm so glad he was able to join me here on the Jim Masters Show live. Again, this is a fun show that we created about 15 weeks ago here live on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. I've had the opportunity to know and interview all the guys that you see in these photos, and we've all sort of stayed connected. I don't know if it's an Irish thing or what, but it's been really, really cool to have that opportunity to catch up with the lads and buddies. And Ryan Kelly, our very special guest tonight, and he was very open about his life and his experience and what he loves doing and the things that motivate him. I think it's really cool. I think it's awesome. And that's one of the elements of this show. We do great guest interviews, but we also take people on location. We do music, we do food, we do comedy, we do inspiration, we do conversations about health and wellness. Sometimes I even do pop-up shows. This Saturday, I did a pop-up show. It was wonderful. Ryan was talking about it, the love of his dad, Sean. And of course, when we were talking about George as well. I do pop-up shows as well. Every once in a while, I'll just pop up on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and Facebook at Jim Masters TV, and we'll just chat with the audience. I'll just do a 2-hour chat with the audience. This past Saturday, we talked for 2 hours about all of our favorite foods, and that was really cool. Again, every episode of the Jim Masters Show live is something different and something unique. It's not the same old, same old. There's some pictures of Ryan and I over the years on American television. And of course, with George, and with Damien, of course, and with Paul Byram. Damien, again, if you want to see that interview, it's on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. He was very gracious to come on. Great friend as well. We had a fantastic conversation with Damien. Paul Byram is going to be coming on the 6th of September. This was the whole crew. We were in the television studio at Public Television. We were co-hosting a national public television special, which was a beautiful thing. A lot of fun afterwards, too. And this was one of the more recent shots when I happened to be with the guys. I was introducing them on stage. They were performing on stage. This was at the Oakdale Theater, actually, in Connecticut, and it was for Connecticut Public Television, CPTV. There's another cool shot. This was backstage as well with Ryan and myself. And just really, really cool stuff. Coming up this week, the shows, the entertainment continues. We have some amazing guests lined up for you. Music and conversation and so much more. Let me show you some of the cool people who are coming up tomorrow night. Incredible television and movie actor and stage actor Joe Finfera is going to be here tomorrow. He's on a lot of American television shows, movies, and so much more. Legendary character actor Larry Hankin is going to be here. He's been on Seinfeld and countless TV shows and movies. It's going to be a riot, a brilliant time to have him on. He's going to be here on Tuesday night. Also next week, we have another brilliant artist that's going to be joining us. This is Marlene Angelides, and Marlene Angelides is a brilliant singer and a musician. She's also a fantastic actress as well. She's going to be here on Friday of next week. She's going to perform live as well. And also, this is Diane DeLynn. She's an award-winning jazz violinist. She's going to be here. She's going to perform live. She's going to be here on Thursday night, this Thursday this week. She's a composer, a jazz violinist. She's also a musician, songwriter, and an educator as well. She teaches music. She's going to be here. And I want to let you know there's a very, very special show happening, which I'm very excited about. And this just all came together. My birthday is September 24th. So on September 24th, I didn't book any. We're booked with guests, believe it or not. We are booked with guests every single night now, all the way to the third week of October. Incredible guests, great conversations coming up now all the way till the third week of October. What you're looking at right now on this screen, these are members of the legendary soul Motown groups, the Temptations, the Platters, the Drifters, and the Four Tops. They have formed a group called Voices of Classic Soul. They are amazing. They are going to be my special guests live here on the show coming up on September 24th. Again, they've been a part of the Temptations, the Platters, the Drifters, and the Four Tops. And their representatives approached me and said, Jim, we would love to have them come on your show. We watched your show. A couple of nights ago, I had Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. on. He was winner of the 6th season of America's Got Talent. You know, the competition show, just like Britain's Got Talent. The American version is America's Got Talent. Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. was a guest on the show. We did a phenomenal interview. These gentlemen, the Voices of Classic Soul, saw that interview. Their representatives contacted me and they said, we want to have them on your show. Pick a date, Jim. When would you like to have them? And I said, well, you know, I kind of left September 24th open and available. I really didn't have, a guest scheduled because I figured I'd have, a good time with our viewers and we'll have a cake and maybe some family and friends and we'll do like a birthday show. I said, you know what? Maybe I should have them come on the show on my birthday. So on September 24th, the Voices of Classic Soul are coming on exclusively as my guests. And again, they are from the Temptations, the Drifters, the Platters, and the Four Tops. I mean, legendary music groups from Motown and soul. They're going to be here and they're going to perform live on my birthday on September 24th. That is really, really cool. Again, we have guests tomorrow night and throughout the week. Next Sunday, another fabulous friend who I've had an opportunity to interview a long time, and we've all stayed together, is Neil Byrne. Neil Byrne, also from Celtic Thunder, and the other half of Byrne and Kelly. You had one half tonight, Ryan Kelly. The other half, Neil Byrne, who's a great guy as well. And he'll be here next Sunday, a week from today. And there's a great shot of Ryan and Neil together, buddies and longtime musical partners, Byrne and Kelly. Neil Byrne is here tomorrow on September 6th. Paul Byram is going to be here. Paul Byram is going to be my guest on September 6th as well for a great conversation. Of course, he was with Celtic Thunder for a long time as well. And I just wanted to say thank you very much to Ryan. Thanks to you guys as well. If this is the very first time you checked out the Jim Masters Show live, as you can see, we have a lot of fun on this show. It's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And I do this work professionally in television and radio, but 15 weeks ago, we created this show. This is out of my home studio. You're actually coming into my home, and we built this studio. And every night we've been doing these shows, and it's just been a true blessing and a true joy. And I really love doing this. It's a heck of a lot of work, but connecting with all of you and meeting so many new faces every night, every episode, we meet people from all around the world. And I appreciate all the love, the support. Subscribing to the YouTube channel and liking the Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jim Masters TV, Facebook Jim Masters TV, and YouTube at Jim Masters TV. If you want to see this episode again and any of the episodes of the Jim Masters Show live series, there's 15 weeks of shows. You can check them out on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to relax, to breathe, to love one another, take care of one another. We usually always show this at the end of every episode of our series, the Jim Masters Show Live. So I say to you, relax, breathe, take care of one another, love one another, and try to take time for yourself as you take time for others as well. The other thing we do here on the show, there's a lot of production value to the show. I think I need to be an octopus. I need more arms. I say I might be the star of the show, the host and the executive producer, but I think you guys are the stars as well. All of you from around the world, all of the lovedies who watch the Jim Masters Show live every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. You guys are the stars as well. Really cool show tonight. Really amazing conversation. We'll take a look at a couple of more comments coming in before we officially wrap up the show. And thanks for all the great comments and everything. Marcia, I'm sure I knew you would love tonight. You and I have known each other for years. Marcia used to come into the public television studio and answer phones when Celtic Thunder was on and Celtic Woman and a lot of the Irish shows, because she's Irish as well. And she would take the viewer support from, while I would be hosting on public television, she would be in the studio taking the pledges, the PBS pledges, which is beautiful. Thank you for the good interview and good crack. Yes, absolutely. That was some good crack tonight. Thank you and good night. You made a new fan with me tonight, Jim. Thank you, Mary. I really appreciate that. Tim Janis, thank you very much. I love it. Nice work, Jim. Good to see you. Tim is another fabulous friend of mine as well. We all stick together. We're all of similar spirits about lifting people up and positive inspiration and, sharing levity, caring, kindness, sharing our talents together and with all of you in our respective fields. Donna says, thank you, Jim. I enjoyed this interview so much. I love Ryan Kelly. Extraordinary human being, as well as amazing performer. You did an outstanding interview. First time watching the show. I'll be back. Thank you very much, Donna. I really appreciate that. Beautiful hearts coming from Julie Wolf. Thank you for all your great comments as well. Love your show, Jim. Rhonda, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, we should get Emmett Cahill on too. And Emmett O'Hanlon. We saw, actually, Marcia and I went to New York City and we saw Emmett Cahill and Emmett O'Hanlon performing at a venue in New York City. We had dinner and then we saw the guys perform and we hung out after. It was really, really cool. Good stuff. Good night. See you soon. We'll be here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, Jim. Love and appreciate you and yourself. Jen is Zen. Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate you. Julie says, thanks, Jim. Superb. Thank you very much. So much fun tonight with Ryan and Jim. We appreciate that. And Ryan had a great time. He and I had been chatting about this for a long time. And, there were no planned questions. When I do my conversations on this show, or I think I've interviewed about 6,000 people in my career, I think I calculated, for my professional work in television and radio, and also now with this show with over 100 episodes. And thank you, Julie, and thank you, Mary. And Ryan and I told Ryan, we'll just have a conversation. No scripted questions, no teleprompter. We'll just, he and I knew each other, and we'll just have some fun and bring you guys into it. And that's what we did. It's a party, absolutely. And Isigari watching in Barcelona, Spain once again. Thank you very much. Wonderful having you here as well. And I love all these comments. Yes, the voices of classic soul. The gentlemen from the Platters, the Temptations, the Drifters, and the Four Tops. They're going to be here on my birthday. Wow. It's amazing how that worked out. And I really, really, truly thank them for wanting to come on. They told me pick the date. And I said, how about the September 24th? I deliberately didn't have any guests booked because I thought we would just do a viewer birthday party type thing. Some of the viewers said they want to do that. This is going to be fun. So I'm glad you have, Denise, you have it on your calendar. That would be fantastic. It's a party. See a couple more comments before we wake up. Jim, I can't wait for that. My Generation, Ruth Grove. Yes, that's going to be great. Looking forward to the shows. Love jazz and Motown. Hi, Jim. My birthday is September 23rd. We can celebrate together. That's right. September 23rd. So you and I are Libras. Libras. We're all about balance and harmony. Cool stuff. We're living in odd times. We're really being put to the test, aren't we, Mary? We have to try to harmonize all of this craziness and be balanced. Absolutely. We will celebrate our birthday together. And thank you very much. Oh, I like that. I like that. I noticed something different tonight. There is also wording at the lower left-hand corner as well as you're speaking. It helps some with me, just letting you know. Perfect. I'm glad that it did. You might have, there might be a setting where you have closed captioning on. There is an option on Facebook. If you want closed captioning on, you can switch. If you need closed captioning, I think Facebook, I think YouTube does too. There is an option where you can have closed captioning. Otherwise, there is a way on your computer or your phone, you can turn that off. But if it helps you, that's perfect. Good night, Issy, Gary in Barcelona, Spain. What a warm night. By the way, a great weekend, Jim. Good night and excellent week ahead. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed everything. Boy, my hair's getting real long, right? My hair is usually short like Jim there. We haven't had a haircut since March, and it's just been, we figured for the summer, what the heck, just let it go, let it blow in the wind, and that's what we're doing. We'll get it cut soon, I guess. We'll have to. Well, you won't see my face. Thank you very much, Carla. You're watching in beautiful South America in Brazil. That's beautiful, and we love it. We love it. Rhonda, thank you, Jim. So very awesome. We say in my family, toodaloo. That's an old school word. Boy, my Aunt Gertie used to say that word, toodaloo, instead of bye. So toodaloo. That's a good question. There's so many of them. I think when we chatted after his father had passed, we had a beautiful conversation in the studio. And then when he came back, after he had the accident, he was in the coma. The very first time he was back in the studio, we had a wonderful conversation, and it was very meaningful. So I'd say that would be. We've had a lot of laughs over the years, in the studio usually, and but I would say as far as like really meaningful conversations, that would be one of the times that really stands out for me. That's a great question. I appreciate your asking that question as well. Just scrolling through the hundreds of messages here. Thank you, Jim. It was a very enjoyable evening. Thank you, Kathy Short. I appreciate that. Denise, loving the new word levity, part of my vocabulary now. Tell him, yeah, it's all levity on the Jim Masters Show live. It's been so gratifying to see the amount of support and love for Ryan experiencing Jim's phenomenal levity hole. Thank you very much, Christine, and I appreciate all of your love and support for the show as well. You're amazing. Thank you again, Jim. Enjoyed this very much. Levity from Wendy. Let's see. Yes, Paul Byram. Paul Byram will be here on the 6th of September. Neil Byrne is here next week on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I know it's like midnight. For Ryan, it was midnight when he started. And Willie, who's in Holland, she's usually with us all the time, every night. Really amazing. Yes. We'll work on that. I think he's in Chicago. I saw him last. His mother has a restaurant in New York City. And the last time I saw him, we were at a show and he was in it. And then he took me and a group of us to where his mother's restaurant. Obviously I don't think it's open right now with everything going on, but we went to, I think it's 8th Avenue in Manhattan to visit his mom. I met Emmett O'Halloran's mom and we had dinner. It's a great place. Thank you for the wonderful show. My first time watching. It was great. Love seeing Ryan, forever a fan. Claudia, I hope you'll be back. I hope you will join us again on the show and enjoy the levity. And we would love to have you here. It's all positive vibes and good times here. And every night is something different. It's like a traditional entertainment lifestyle talk show series that you would see on television, using some of my TV background and putting it together here. Great interview with Ryan. You have a new fan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Rena Puckett. Love that. And you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Flowers for you. Dutch tulips that we usually show for Willie in Holland, who watches all the time. We'll give them to Rena for subscribing to the channel. We love that. A couple more here before we wrap up. I can't believe I've been standing on my feet this long. I'm actually standing. I'm actually standing. I'm going to put my feet up and have a ice cream cone right after this. Great interview with Ryan. You have a new fan, subscribe. Right. Thank you. Everyone have a good night, depending on where you are. You know what I think I'll do? We normally do viewer of the week. So I'll have Christine Fairwood get an extra day. Christine Fairwood, if you are still with us, you still are our viewer of the week. For those who are saying, what's that mean? Well, ever since I started the show, I like to celebrate the people that watch the show. So I pick one viewer each week and we celebrate them all week long. And they get to be the Jim Masters Show Live Viewer of the Week. So right now we're celebrating Christine Fairwood, who's in Connecticut in the United States. We've had so many different viewers of the week from around the world. Renee was the week before. So we'll give an extra night to Christine, and we will pick our viewer of the week tomorrow. So that way, Christine will be here because I'm not sure if she's still here, and Willie and all the rest of the Lovity gang. Everybody that's watching now, you're all a Lovity. You're part of our Lovity Hall, as Danilo in San Diego has dubbed it. Really good to have you here. Thank you very much, Mary. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I love to do that. That's what it's all about. We all have to do our part, right? The longer hair looks great with your hat. You see, I like the longer hair. Whew, it's getting really long, thick and full. And you should see it when a wind comes. Wow, it's cool. For the summertime, we said, you know what? We'll just let it. The salon where I go actually called and said, Jim, where are you? We miss you. Because, you know, usually for my work in television and all the other stuff that I do, I don't always have it super short, but we have it shorter. But just letting it grow for the summer. What the heck? Having fun, right? Good night, Jim Lovity. Rhonda, you got it. Absolutely. Jennifer, in soft PJs. Jen dives in bed soon. It's late. Yeah, it's late. We're in Ireland. When Chloe Agnew was on, she was in Ireland too, in Dublin. We Irish physically wave goodbye until we can't see each other. I know. We have long goodbyes, don't we? Great storytellers and lots of wit. Ryan is very special and attracts love and support, kindness. Thank you for having him tonight. My pleasure. I'm so happy. I also thank our wonderful friend Valerie Porter, who put it together too. And Angela in Ireland as well, helping put it together and strategizing with me. And I thank Valerie as well for putting it together. Valerie, if you're still watching, thank you so very much. I'm glad we are friends, and I'm glad that we all worked together to make it happen. And Ryan, I knew Ryan was going to pop on right away because he's a great friend and we've done this for a long time, known each other. So, and Neil too. And Neil said, I want to be on, and Paul Byram, and we'll try to get some of the others as well. We had Chloe Agnew from Celtic Woman. Looking forward to more of your live shows. 007, Susan HW. I love that one. 007. That would be great to have you. So he's back in New York. Well, yeah, probably because there's no shows going on anywhere. He was in Chicago. Thank you, Issy. Relax. I appreciate that. Watching in beautiful Barcelona. You know, I've been to Europe a number of times on television shoots and projects, but I haven't been to Barcelona. And I hear it's such a beautiful city, and I hope to get there real soon. Give her another week like you did me. Give Christine another week. Yeah, she did go through Tropical Storm Isaias, and you went through that derecho hurricane in Iowa. So maybe I should give her. Yeah. Yeah, Willie is a real trooper. She's trying her best, I know, to stay up late, you know, in Holland, because in Holland, our show is 7 p.m. Eastern here in the United States, but in Holland, it's 1 a.m. Can always watch all the shows in the archives. Thanks, Irish 43. I love that. Denise Ola. What a great last name. Denise Ola. That's fantastic. Is Gary still here in Barcelona? Levity may end up being your best mistake you've made. The world really needs lots of levity. I agree, doesn't it? I think it was a Freudian slip when I said levity that was meant to be. I know Gilligan from Gilligan's Island certainly loves it. Our new addition to the Jim Masters cast of characters. Gilligan Island with love from Bob Denver's fabulous wife, Dreama Denver. Yeah. Aloha, Jim, Dreama Denver. She sent this as a gift. She wanted Gilligan to be a part of our set. So Gilligan from the TV show Gilligan's Island, Bob Denver, of course. Dobie Gillis is part of our set as well. I know I'm like a little kid. I keep showing this, but it's so cool because he joins all the other cast of characters, which I think is awesome. Cool. I can still hear you couch surfing. Love you. Merry night, Jim. And thanks again. We'll be checking your videos on YouTube, and we'll be with you and Neil on Sunday. And we're here every night of the week, so we invite you to join us as well. Well, this has been great. Love it. And I toast all of you, even though Ryan polished off his glass and I polished off mine. But I think he refilled his. I can't. I'm here. I can't. I'm tethered to the set. I can't walk off the set and refill it. So I toast you, empty glass, but it's the thought that counts. I toast you and you and you and you and you. And I thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. I need longer arms, so I put the glass down without breaking it. Levity is what it's all about. Kindness, empathy, levity, good times. And we have a lot of that here on this show. Night to sweet Gilligan. Gilligan says goodnight to you. And so does your other friend, George Burns. He says goodnight to you as well. So you got a lot of TV history here. You got Gilligan and George Burns. Pretty cool, huh? And Jeannie's asleep in the bottle. She's in there. She's sleeping in the I Dream of Jeannie bottle. I don't know if you can see her in there, but she's sound asleep. And Silver, he's sleeping on the floor, and Jimmy the clown is sleeping on Silver's lap. Good night, everybody. Really great show. Or as Ed Sullivan used to say, a really great shoe. Good night, Jim. Super evening. New fan. I'm looking forward to the shows this week. Slunsha. You as well. You're terrific. I loved your comments, Julie, tonight. And I love that photo of you. That's really creative. Really, really cool. Looking good. Kathy Short, cheers. You as well. Night, Jim Bob. You got it, Renee. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you on Facebook too, right? Looking forward to the show with Neil. Hope everyone has a good night. Claudia, thank you for being with us. Hope you join us. We're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific live. Irish Night Lights. I like that. Good night and thank you, Jim. Denise Ola. Not a great name. All right, gang. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, don't forget to smile as often as you can, and love one another, and be good to one another. Be good to yourself, too. Take care of yourself, and always have a little love. That's what I try to do. Share the love. And always have a go-to place. Have that go-to. We need that more than ever now. Have a go-to place. Mine is the ocean. We live along the coast here. We're in the greater New York City area, the southern New England coast, between New York and Boston. And the ocean for me is my go-to place. So I hope you have a go-to place as well that brings you replenishment, revitalization, and smiles. Good stuff. You guys are a blessing, a joy, a lot of fun to be around. And long live levity. You got it. Absolutely. Good night, and thank you, Jim. I think we'll do that during the week for you. We'll do that for the week. I know what you want. You want those back. You want me to turn the lights, the studio lights off, and have the backlighting. I think during the week I will surprise you, Jennifer. I will surprise you. You're very welcome. And long live levity. Good night, Jim, and all. See you tomorrow. Now rest. Thank you. We plan to do that. You look good, hottie. Why, thank you, Allison. I think we should wrap on that one, huh? Can I print that out? Is there a way I can? Hey, can I print this out? Thanks, Allison. You're funny. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night. Love you all. Take care. This is Jim Masters thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll be here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, with another great episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. If this is your first time watching us, spread the word, share the links, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. We'd love that. You can find me on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Give the page a like. I'm on Instagram at Jim Masters TV and Twitter at Jim Masters TV. You got to be everywhere today, right? All right, you guys, you be well. You have a good evening or a good day if it's day where you are in New Zealand, Australia, and elsewhere. Thanks for all the time. This was epic, really beautiful. And good to see everybody tonight. We'll be here tomorrow, and I hope you're here too. If not, the archives are there. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Love you all. Cheers. Bye-bye.